Press Start Podcast.
And welcome back to the Press Start Podcast. I'm your host Vic, aka Mr. Never Chill, and this is episode number 99. And today is our stream anniversary, so we want to celebrate that. But we do want to welcome back our co-host Scoby1,
Hey everybody, welcome back.
and of course we got Lunatic Oblivion.
Hey guys, how you doing today?
And guess what, guys? We are welcoming back Inhuman as our special guest. Welcome back, sir.
Appreciate the invite, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Hell yeah, man. We love it. When you're on the show, man, you bring so much to the conversation, honestly. And boy, do we got a lot to dive into today. But first off, I just want to get into like how you guys are doing. It's been a week, obviously, since we probably talked a lot, and everybody doing good.
Doing pretty
Yeah,
good.
amazing.
Hell yeah, that's what I love to hear there, for sure. So let's get right into it, to our games played this week. Roger, you currently still have the longest list. I've been kind of slacking when it comes to video games, but I did see that you beat Gunfire Reborn. You dropped the games beaten into the Discord, and I was like, okay. And how was the experience for that?
Honestly, super fun game. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I did. Marshmallow's been playing this game for over a year now, and he talks about it, how it's one of his favorite games. And I was like, all right, man, you know what? Let me try it. It's on Game Pass. It's free. Played it on Game Pass. It just goes to show Game Pass isn't all that sometimes, because I had to buy it on Steam.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we've known for the longest now that the Game Pass client on the PC has been pretty lackluster. I mean, it goes the whole way back to when we were playing the Ascent. Like, we were having problems way back then. So it's been a few
It
years.
makes me worried.
Yeah.
It makes me worried about the Activision Blizzard acquisition, because if we get rid of the Blizzard launcher and we use the Xbox
Right.
launcher,
Well, that's the thing.
woo,
What's your take
we
on
go
the
from
What's your take on the Blizzard launcher? Do you enjoy the Blizzard launcher?
I mean, I could take it or leave it.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I don't ever have any issues with it. It downloads my
Because
games.
I'd
It
be
works
curious that they
great.
take the team that worked on that launcher, help them improve the groundwork and the framework of the Xbox Game Pass launcher for PC.
I gotta say, it ain't no Steam launcher. Let's be honest.
I don't think anything's touching the Steam launcher. Steam is the Steam one's number one.
Perfection is a curse.
Perfection is a curse.
Yeah. So, Paul, you picked up Control again. Is there a reason why you picked this up? Or are you just playing the DLC? What's up with that?
I'm not gonna lie. It was one of those days where it's like, I kind of need something to do, and then I was just scrolling through my games, and I was like, yo, I definitely literally have one last objective to do in that game, and then I'm done. So I was like, let me go do that and stop playing around, so I could just delete this off my system.
So was that the main game, or was it the DLC, the Alan Wake DLC?
DLC stuff, yeah, I finished the main game already. Very
Okay.
short story, surprisingly, I will add.
Yeah, for the DLC.
Oh no,
Oh, the main,
story.
yeah, the main
Yeah.
wasn't too bad. Obviously, me and you
Yeah.
talked off stream before how we really enjoyed the Astro Maze level, and it's
Yes.
one of the greatest levels of any video game I've ever played, like by far.
Yes, level designs. If perfection can even be used on level design, that is damn near close to it.
Yeah, and if
That's a
anyone's
big-
interested and don't want to play through the game to get to that part, because it is probably more towards the end of the game, just look it up
Yes.
on YouTube and just watch somebody play through it, because the music that's playing just gets you hype. I mean, the crazy. I thought it was in the movie Inception. Like the world was bending
Yes.
and just melting, and it was just crazy. And then I mean, as Jesse, you're like a fucking Jedi basically with the fucking force powers, and then that gun. It's just it's an incredible game. Looking forward to the future with that. But Scott, I think you beat Diablo 4 last week, but you continue to play. Did you start over? Is this a new character?
Yeah, so after you beat the campaign for the first time, and you do the capstone dungeon, did all that, you can just make new characters, you can skip campaign, and then you can just kind of go right into your veteran tier until you hit 50 for the nightmare. So yeah, I started doing that. I've been playing a bone necromancer. Love it.
I love
Shit
it.
hits, man. I love it. It's great. It's definitely more ranged, which was nice. But once you start stacking some of your abilities, it's everything's too easy. It's too funny. With the druid, that was still fun. My AoE damage is still outrageous. I'm gonna respec him before this upcoming season, probably into a Stormclaw,
Okay.
just so I can do that.
If I'm not mistaken, I was seeing
but-
highlights of someone playing as a druid doing like 18 million damage or something like that. It was something like
it was,
obnoxious.
It was 1.8
1.8
billion.
billion. Okay, yeah. I was just
In
like,
a-
so you're
in a
just
high-
like you're like
in a
loading in, you're
single
like looking at people, you're like, they're already dead. Like they didn't even load in.
Yeah, yeah, it was hilarious watching that and like watching all the particular builds. My build isn't that, but that is the Stormfall build that people can do. Like once you start getting specific items, you basically just start racking up bonuses, crit chance, crit damage. So especially for like druids, you have like your nature magic, which you can also get to like you can use nature magic. So when you use an earth skill, it has a random proc to use a storm skill, but there's also things where you can do where now your storm skills are actually earth skills and storm skills, so they proc nature's fury again, and they just do it. It just gets so intricate. But yeah, they'll just go up and they'll do, they'll shred or they'll do something like that, and everybody will be dead in like 10 seconds. Like I think I saw a video of a druid and a necromancer, not together, but two separate videos of both of them completely just melting the tier 100 Echo of Lilith in like. I'm sure you've seen it in human. It's like 2 or 3 seconds. They just delete the character. They're done. It was like when you guys were playing Redfall and you said you killed the boss too early.
Yep.
And you couldn't get the skull.
Yep.
It's the same thing. They show up, just get burnt down in about 3 seconds. Still having a lot of fun with that game.
So it sounds like the game hasn't gotten any better over Diablo 3, because when I played with Roger, we were killing the boss before they can even think about finishing their dialogue. It was just, and it had already dead. Like it was just like, okay,
and
next.
We weren't even building for it.
Right. We're just wrecking cats, and I was just like, well, this is easy.
That's always the interesting thing about Diablo, because like for my necro, like my stuff is built so that I can literally just create corpses, and every time I make a corpse explode, it just regens my mana. Like, so it's like I'm doing damage and still hurting people while getting my mana back, and just hit with all my other attacks, and then it's like, okay, well then here you go.
Yeah, like you can get it to where your essence never runs out, and you're just blowing up corpses, and that killed the guy next to that, so that's a spare corpse. And then it's just hilarious. It's so fucking funny watching it and playing it. It's like super easy, just like ding 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 ding.
We hit like one person one time, you have a chance of spawning 3 corpses. It's insane.
That sounds pretty fun.
And then you get like the double chance on boss or something like that, dude. It's like, what in the fuck is this build? It's so funny.
So broken, bro.
Damn. So, as for my list here, I just want to talk about Midnight Club, and yes, I'm talking about the PS2 game. I picked it up. I bought a PS2 the other day, and basically what I want to do is, because I'm part of S2Ws, I want to start doing like streaming retro games as well. So I actually ended up buying this, the Elgato HD 60X capture card. It was on sale for Prime Day, and snagged that. So I got to actually buy an adapter where the color cords to HDMI. AV to HDMI. I'm gonna grab that probably tomorrow from like Walmart or Best Buy or something, and I'll be able to play that on stream. But I was hopping in Midnight Club. I was like, man, these are memories. But I got to get Midnight Club and Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition, because that's like one of the all-time greats. Yeah, overall, fun times. I doubt we're ever going to see a new Midnight Club anytime soon. But
I never really fucked with Midnight Club.
Really?
Yeah, that wasn't one of my things, and I feel like it's I have FOMO. Or like I have, like I've missed out, so I always feel like terrible when people are talking about Midnight. Like I'm just like,
I think it was like a big war between just like the Midnight Club scene and like the Need for Speed scene.
Yeah.
I was definitely on Need for Speed and like Underground and like all that good shit. And that I loved that, but damn, I do really feel like I missed out on Midnight. Not enough to go back though.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll borrow your PS2.
Just check out my stream. That's all you got to do, or my
exactly.
or my YouTube videos when they go up on Shoot to Win's YouTube. But outside of that, let's move on here. Roger, you started a new game, Raft. I think you're playing with Disney Princess, who just hopped here in chat. What is that game, and how's the experience? I never even heard of it.
Raft I'm surprised you've never heard of Raft. Raft is one of those indie games that's been around for a little bit. It exited like the full release a while back, and to touch on what Disney's saying here, we have the PS2 actually. It's just down over in the corner next to me, not plugged in. But yeah, the Raft, it's really genuinely one of my new favorite games right now. It has a lot of those good features of like a Minecraft survival. Like it truly feels like all those classic survival games. Like if you don't think about food and water as your first thing you're doing, you've already failed. you're gonna die in a few minutes and you're gonna start again. Because like back in the DS days, there were some survival games that came out, like some of the original survival games. You get lost on an island, you have to like, it was a side-scrolling survival game, and you had to think about food and water and then shelter. And like Raft was that game. Like it just hit all of those check boxes. And then also like the best part about it is like I got to play it with somebody else, and Disney had so much fun playing it. It was just a good game we both could bond over and have fun playing, and I didn't have to sit here and try to see if another friend wants to play. I can actually just play with my wife.
That's love. That's love.
Yeah, that's definitely dope. And then what was the other game that you picked up that was recommended by Marshmallow? I think was it the Halls of Torment?
Marshmallow.
Was that the game on
Yeah,
this year?
so Marshmallow literally less than an hour ago, I think it was, suggested you guys should try Halls of Torment. He's like, if you liked Vampire Survivor, try Halls of Torment.
I'm here.
And like, yeah, Marshmallow, dude, this game's awesome. Like, I played less than 30 minutes and I'm like, I'm hooked. This is fun. I can turn my brain off like Vampire Survivors. But it's a little different because instead of it being an auto battler, you do have to fight like you're playing Diablo. So it kind of plays like Vampire Survivor does with waves of enemies. But it plays like Diablo does, like OG Diablo, where you have to aim your abilities, you have to attack your opponents, and you have to decide which way to go. But it isn't like a randomly generated labyrinth you're going through. It's just one giant open map, and you're walking around like you would with Vampire Survivors. And it's for $5, dude. I'm gonna put a good 20 hours into this game, I bet.
It sounds like a pretty good game and a steal there for
Definitely
sure.
Definitely a good deal for $5. I mean,
$5, 20
can't
hours
beat
of
it.
gameplay, and I
Can't beat it.
enjoy it. It's not like turning my brain off. It's fun.
yeah,
Yeah, that's dope. Scott, you're still playing Pokemon Go. We talked about it last week. It didn't die down. Like it wasn't like one of those quick fixes, or are you still like, oh, this is it?
it's I'm still on it. It was definitely like the quick fix, but then it's like it's the same thing that happened to me the last time. Like I get in, I'll play, I'll do that stuff, I'll battle Team Rocket, I'll do a raid or something like that. But then it's like, my Pokemon storage, I have 3 to go before I'm full. I just deleted 299 Pokeballs just so I could hit Pokestops, just because I have so much shit, and I'm not buying any more storage. I've bought so much storage in that game. I think I have like 1,100 item storage and like 1,200 Pokemon storage, and I'm just continually always at the top of it. That's why I stopped playing in the beginning. Beginning, but no, it's still fun. It's still like a good game to go catch new Pokemon, do shit like that. I mean, I do it occasionally here or there. Playing in the kitchen. Scobie One's lady friend could probably attest to that. She's like, "You gonna Google that?" And I was like, "Yeah." After I catch this Pokemon, I said I was gonna Google it. I'm still catching this. I still gotta purify this Mareep.
That's great.
But no, it's still fun. It's just a fun game to kind of have going on occasionally. Nothing too invested. Not a pooper, so can't play it too much. When I'm there doing my real self.
Unless you download the
When
hacks
you're in
where you
the
can like,
office, you know?
unless you download
Yeah,
the hacks where you can like walk around in Pokemon Go with like a keyboard or something.
Yeah, there it is. Scobie. She said he's not lying.
There it
He's
is.
not lying.
We've heard it here first.
We were having a conversation. I'm just sitting there battling Team Rocket, like doing all that, and then I was gonna Google something. She's like, "Did you Google that yet?" And I was like, "No, hold on." I'm like, "I'm still. I gotta catch this."
Trying to get this
but
shit.
she's a champ for letting me play that as much as I do. Not that I do it when I'm in the car or driving or anything.
No, not at all. Are you driving? No, I'm the passenger.
Nope. Yep, I'm the passenger. I don't know what you're talking about. Gotta hatch these eggs doing 5 miles an hour down a main road in Lancaster. Just for shits and giggles.
Factual information I hear. So, Paul, obviously you play a lot of Call of Duty, but like you put it in here that you're playing third person. Like, I tried playing third person. This shit kind of gave me like motion sickness, and I don't get fucking motion sickness from anything. And I'm just like, I can't do this third person shit because like when you aim down sight, it goes into first person, and using a sniper scope, forget it.
Yeah.
No.
In the settings for third person, you can actually switch it so when you ADS, it actually goes and just does over the shoulder like some Gears of War type
Okay.
stuff. Now, when it is a sniper, though, it does force you to go ADS in first person due to the fact you're using a freaking like 3 times or 4 times scope. Now there are certain snipers where you could just what you call it, iron sight it, and that's amazing. It also sucks, but in terms of why I even play it, like I come from competing in Ghost Recon, so I'm used to just third person stuff. And I know in the SUW Discord, I posted up one of our old competitions that were in there. And like I love third person stuff. I also put in there I've been playing Rogue Company again,
Right.
and like third person games or third person shooters in general, just they've always been my thing. I love them and stuff. I mean, coming from a person who's a big fan, especially of Splinter Cell and everything, like yeah, I play a lot of third person. But yeah, no, that third person is great. But the only issue that's been going on is third person's part of a playlist within your actual filters, and the playlist is completely broken. So it's supposed to be like team deathmatch, hardpoint, and I believe control, or something. I forget the other one. But there is nothing but team deathmatch, and it has been broken for like a month now, and they have not fixed it. We
A
thought
Call of Duty playlist being broken? I don't know, dude.
Call of
It
Duty.
might,
Call
it
of
got to be
Duty
his rig
being
only. His rig
broken?
only.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
we've
I don't
been
know.
heated and stuff because I thought that they were gonna like really try to focus on it because they did third person Warzone, and like the whole Ghost Recon community, all the discords that I was a part of that even still do Ghost Recon competitions were all going fucking third person Warzone. So I was like, oh, this is it. This is gonna kick up, and then they just took it out. They said, we done with that.
Yeah, there was like that big uptick of people just trying it for a little bit, and then
Yeah.
that was really it. So like, did you find like having experience with the third person? Like, did you dominate?
Oh yeah, just
Yeah.
destroying everybody. bro.
Yeah, yeah, because like there's people who've never played a third person. They're like, oh, I'm gonna try this third person, not realizing like. I would say built-in hacks. Is it a bug or is it a feature? When you can aim, when you can look around corners just by
Oh,
being
yeah, it's-
near it, and
It's-
and,
it's
and how
literally
to
called
use
third
that.
person
Yeah.
peeking.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, like doing your peak and everything like that. So I was gonna say, I'm sure you dominated, and that's probably why they stopped it because you were killing everybody.
Well, that's that. Like, I feel like that's the thing with like Call of Duty being like having that third person mode. It's like really weird because Call of Duty is really fast paced and like you just run around the corners. But guys like you are not playing it like OG Call of Duty. You're playing it like Ghost Recon, and you're actually you're checking them corners a certain way. You're playing it very tactically, and you're just shredding these kids, and they're just like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah, and people.
This guy's
thinking that
camping or
I'm
whatever.
yeah, I'm gonna go do my fast paced run around the corner, and all they're doing is logging into a meat grinder until they get used to it. Like,
The thing that's killer is the fact that like if Ubisoft just got themselves together, they could actually like have a huge boost in players of people who play Call of Duty, tried their person out and enjoyed it. They could do that. The only issue is Ghost Recon is literally like a military sim, so it's not meant to be first person. I mean, it's not meant to be fast paced. My apologies. So if Sony got themselves together and tried to do SOCOM, then that come out. They could probably
Right.
go that route.
Honestly, if they
Yeah.
brought SOCOM back, that could be a legitimate contender. SOCOM was
100%,
huge
100%
back
would be
in the
playing
day.
that. SOCOM was huge.
And they'll
For
kill
sure.
it with microtransactions. That's literally what Ubisoft did too. Ubisoft was like, "Hey, listen, you like these pair of pants? Cool, $3." Like,
Yeah.
and people bought it. Like people did. So,
Well, it's injecting poison into your game. It
yeah, of
really
course.
is.
We love poison.
Absolutely.
And the
It's
thing,
more that-
and it's crazy. Like Sony has so many first-person or just shooters in general that they can bring back from SOCOM to what was Guerrilla Games game Killzone, and then
Killzone.
also remember the game Mag from the PS3, which was way ahead of its fucking time.
Yes.
That shit was like 100 and some odd people versus 100 and some odd people on console for like a first-person shooter. Like that was it. That game was dope, but it just couldn't stay around. It wasn't ready yet. But yeah, Sony definitely has potential. But this one to cover my last game here before we move on to the upcoming game releases is I've been playing some Hogwarts Legacy. That is my current stream right now. Marshmallow's been hopping into watching my errand simulator is what he's been calling it because it's a whole bunch of hey, can you go here because I don't feel like doing it kind of stuff, and it's like okay, I get it. So it's like I'm almost getting to the point now where like I don't even want to participate in the side quests unless it's a character I actually care about in the game. That's where I'm at now.
I'd suggest you stick to a lot of the side quests. If you want to have an advantage in actually getting around the world, especially for your broom, or even attempting to solve at least one puzzle, you need to do side quests because side quests are the only way you're going to get spells.
Well, I have all the
if you ever-
spells.
Ah, well, there you
The
go.
only
That's-
ones I don't have are the last two unforgivable curses. I need Imperial and
Squared away,
Ivana
then.
Kedavra. Yeah, like I'm
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. Don't even worry. Sebastian's got you handled.
Right, yeah, just follow the rest of his
Yeah,
quest line.
just hang out with
Yeah.
his shit. He'll
Yeah.
get you taken care of.
And I'm ominous because he's the heir of Slytherin, and he's just like he's not. It doesn't seem as crazy as fucking Sebastian, but I mean that might change by the end of the fucking game. It seems
So
like
if he was the heir of Slytherin and Tom Riddle was the heir of Slytherin, then Sebastian is Voldemort's ancestor. He's probably like a great uncle or some shit.
something. There's got to be some kind of tie-in, for sure.
Now,
But
did you stack your dark arts tree?
no,
Oh man.
I barely put into it because I wasn't sure if I really wanted to go down, and because like I know you had the option of even learning those in general, and I was just like, I don't know if I want to, but it was just like, well, there is no morality system, and I really started to pay attention. All of the dialogue options give you like, I don't give a fuck kind of answer, and oh, I'm so sorry kind of answer, and I'm just
Well,
like all
that's-
this could have
that's-
played huge in this game. The morality system, not only
was
when what's
actually
your
originally
actions, but
planned.
yeah, I know it was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we know.
yeah,
what we're talking
yeah,
about.
We've spoken about
killer
that. It
part
was
about
in
it
the
all.
coding, and
Yeah.
they killed it. It was so stupid.
yeah, I don't get it.
So stupid
Part 2, maybe.
to kill that.
Yeah, they got to do it in the next
Like-
game or whatever. I don't know. Maybe an update. Maybe rework it like Cyberpunk is being reworked.
Yeah, between the no morality system and like not making this an MMO like full on.
Yeah, and not having
man,
Quidditch.
There's two things that could have just launched this game.
Yeah, so we'll see. But enough of what we've been playing. Let's move on to our upcoming game releases because we rather short one, but I think there's one big hitter here that we got. So go ahead, Roger, if you want to kick us off here with the upcoming game releases here.
Dude, why you lie to them? There is 2 heavy hitters.
Is
this
there?
week, actually? Yeah, no, honestly, I'm not sure how you're sleeping on Viewfinder. That is going to be a heavy hitter this week. Viewfinder is launching for PC and PS5 this week on July 18th. Viewfinder is a game where the whole concept is to take pictures of things in the world and then move that picture into the world in 3 dimension, and then you can, like, take for example, you take a picture of a bridge, you put it between 2 gaps, you walk over to the side panel, the bridge is there in 3D now. You walk across that bridge that you just took a picture of. You know, like, the whole game is about taking a picture and being able to then, you know,
Use it, like utilize
oppose
it.
that, yeah,
cool.
superimpose that on the actual real world. It honestly, this game, I've seen it in early access, 5, 6, not early access, in like when I was in college. I saw this on Reddit with the people who were developing this. That was years ago now, and that's like 7 years ago that you know. And I thought this game was crazy, and to see it finally come into fruition, this game looks amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get it
Next
up here
up-
so you can go ahead and keep talking about the next one. I'll get some
Yeah.
gameplay up for it.
Yeah, next up we have Might and Magic Clash of Heroes. This is not really a big hitter this week. It's sort of just a Tetris style battler where you have to kind of line up your troops in a specific way to deal damage to your opponent's troops. This is the definitive edition for the game, so it comes out for PS4, Switch, and PC on July 20th. It's just a re-release of a game that's already been out. But the big winner this week that Mr. Never Chillin' is talking about is Pikmin 4. This comes out for the Switch on July 21st, and I know this is one of those games that I find myself going to pick up this week.
Yeah, definitely agree. As I just got it up here on screen, the gameplay for Viewfinder. I did forget about this. This was announced during what I think PlayStation Showcase when we
Check
were
that
watching
shit
it. And I was like, yo, this shit's actually pretty dope. And I like the whole concept of the puzzles, like how, like you're basically bending reality based on like the perception of the Viewfinder. Honestly, it wouldn't
Like there it is.
Like it is pretty incredible the gameplay, and this is the
That actually looks really sick.
It's a PS5 console exclusive, but it is coming to PC, so I might have to pick this up on the PC because this isn't a game that I'm worried about looking at how most high def 4K look ever. This game doesn't need those, but I'm sure this can run on my NVIDIA 980 without any issues. I hope. But yeah,
Give
definitely.
enough RAM for it.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have more than enough whenever I come and pick up the 32
Dude
gigabytes from
literally
you.
takes a picture, flips it, and all the shit falls out of the picture.
That's
What the
that's
fuck?
really cool. I'm
Like, look at
actually
this.
more excited. I'm actually way more excited for this game than I was. I was just like, yeah, viewfinder cool. Like it's gonna.
I
be
low key
on
forgot about it.
PlayStation 5 PC. Like maybe I'll play it, but this is actually really awesome.
And of course, we
Yeah,
got
man.
Pikmin 4 coming out too. What are you saying, Paul?
No, like when I first saw like the viewfinder thing when you were talking about it like during a PlayStation event, the only thing that I could come close to even trying to, I guess, compare it to was like one of the first times I've ever seen like on Instagram where you'll see like an artist still draw like a galaxy and then they'll slowly zoom into like a planet and you go into the planet and there's something else and then you zoom into that and then there's something else and like, that's the only and it's not even the same thing. It's the only thing I could somewhat compare it to. Because, like you said, when you take a picture and it's a puzzle game and everything, which is awesome.
It's like the pictures that are a bunch of tiny pictures put together. Like
Yes.
they have a picture of Marilyn Monroe, but as soon as you zoom in, it's all these other, maybe movie
Yes.
posters that she was in.
Yeah,
and stuff.
collage or something. Yeah.
Mhm.
So Disney said there's a cat you can pet. So
10 out of 10.
I'll probably.
It automatically makes the game a 10 out of 10 for sure.
I'm excited for Pikmin though, guys.
Yeah, dude.
The fact that you have day-night cycle as well, like the fact that you have both the ability to play at night, which you've never been able to do in a Pikmin game, because at night all the monsters come out and you die. This alone looks so good, fascinating.
It looks
looking
really
gameplay.
good.
Yeah,
And the fact that now you have a way to traverse water, they're really just saying whatever you want to do, we're ready to do it now.
and there's the OG Game Boy Advance SP.
There it is.
The GOAT. But no, yeah, I've never played a Pikmin game in general, and I recently played Tinykin, which we talked about before, and it was a clone of this game, without a doubt. And I was just like, I really fucking enjoyed Tinykin, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to play this. Definitely got to play Pikmin 4.
I've never played a Pikmin game in my life. I've just always got my ass handed
You've
to me by
missed out.
Pikmin in Smash. So it's like I want to play the game just so I can at least know why I'm getting my ass kicked in Smash. Like so, how am I stupid, man?
That sounds like that might be a skill issue.
It's
I don't
a
know.
skill issue.
My man's over here getting the clapped
When you
by
made
the ice
Piranha
climbers.
playing, that's what happens, man.
My
My
man-
man's like, Ice Climbers is not a classic game. It's bullshit
Ice-
just because I
That's
lose in
bullshit.
Smash.
Ice climbers is the fucking hack. It's bullshit.
Gotta stop using Piranha playing, man. That's probably the issue.
Yeah,
But-
dude, what he did. Piranha
So-
Plant, come on now.
So clearly, we're hyped for Viewfinder and Pikmin 4. Is there any hype around Might and Magic Clash of Heroes Definitive Edition, or is it just like no? Like
Why
we're
would
good?
we care about a re-release of a game that
Yeah.
nobody knows?
Right.
Like Might and Magic is a cool series, but for them to release an offshoot game and then be like, now take the definitive edition.
Yeah, I thought we moved on from using the word
what?
Definitive Edition.
Like-
That was like early Xbox One days, I thought. But yeah, definitely agree.
Definitely not gonna play it. So,
So that's a wrap with all of the upcoming game releases. Let's move on to the industry news because I'm excited to talk about the updates here. Alright, so obviously we got to kick it off with the Microsoft and Activision Blizzard deal because it's basically going to go through, guys. I'm going to kick it off with the first point here is Microsoft has officially won over the FTC, and with that, Judge Corley also denied the FTC's repeal, and in the Ninth Circuit also denied their repeal. So the United States has given the approval for this merger to happen, and we're basically just working on the CMA. Go to you, Paul, real quick. Any thoughts on the Microsoft beating the FTC? Obviously, you can see the list of everything else we're going to dive into. So,
Yeah, I guess quick thoughts and stuff before everybody just dives into it. I kind of saw this coming. Me and Vic, or Mr. Never Chillin', we kind of were following the whole case live, if you will, and how we did that. We'll keep that to ourselves, but we were able to listen to the case, and unfortunately, the FTC, their main focus was not on the consumers at all, regardless of any things you may have read or about it. I am telling you from actually listening to them and their arguments and their evidence. Their case was not to fight for consumers whatsoever.
oh, they don't
That's-
give a shit about the consumers.
No,
Yeah,
nobody does.
They don't give a shit. Nobody does.
Microsoft
Nobody.
doesn't give a shit about consumers.
Microsoft, yeah.
They definitely don't. They care about profit and everything. But like it's highly unfortunate if they actually wanted to win the case, and if you sat to actually listen what was going on with the chairman of the FTC and listen to Congress with that. you got to hear a lot more because at least Congress had a little bit more insight on what they were choosing, how they were choosing things, and yeah, no, this kind
Yeah.
of feels like Microsoft just had all their eggs in the proper basket.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I thought it was really funny because you said it. Sorry, real quick, Roger, just to interject on his
No,
thought.
it's fine.
It was so funny that like they were clearly not there for the consumer. They were there to defend Sony, and that's why the Congress was like, "How are you really there to defend a foreign company from Japan over this deal, as opposed to fighting for what's best for competition and the consumer?" And it was funny too because then the FTC's wiki page was then changed to the PlayStation logo, which is fucking hilarious. It was
Dude, the internet stays undefeated.
yeah,
The
it's fucking
internet
great.
stays undefeated with it. Like when Notre Dame, when Notre Dame caught on fire, and it's like current, status, or like it says status on fire,
Currently
like,
on
duration-
fire.
currently on fire for the entire duration. So like Wikipedia just coming up and just being like, "Yep, PlayStation logo, 100%." They were just lackeys at that point, like defending the little guy, poor Sony.
Yeah, poor Sony. So,
It
what's
honestly
your thoughts,
felt
Roger? Go
like
ahead.
it felt like they were trying to lose a lot of this, and it just felt
Understand.
like that they weren't purposely trying to win. Everything they did seemed like, even from somebody outside the legal system, is like, what are you talking
It's like they were
about?
there
What are you
to show
doing?
face, say, "Yeah, we
Yeah.
tried, guys, sorry."
Yeah, and
then-
it felt like they were just like, yeah, this is our guy Sony, who's like giving us, they're the person bringing forth the lawsuit, and they're our client right now, saying, this is anti-consumer, and so we have to look into it. But at the same time, it felt like they weren't really trying. They were kind of flubbing the ball here, because we need to step back and look at monopolies, look at the practices of buying up these big companies and what it could do for the industry. And more or less we focused on all the wrong things. They were like, well, it's all about the online market, it's all about this, that, and then how they went about those arguments was just, they talked themselves in circles, and like
Yeah.
any good lawyer shouldn't do that. And then we'll talk about Lena,
know-
the lawyer who argued herself into circles.
It did make sense though that the logo got changed to the PlayStation logo, because, I mean, they all shot themselves in the foot, and that's what Sony's was really good at for like a
Yeah.
while. So it definitely makes sense that they were just basically Sony's little bitch lawyers,
Yeah.
arguing consumer, like, oh, consumer, but not bringing up a single consumer point.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of where I saw that the case was just going left when the judge started asking the key witnesses or the experts, like, hey, where did you get this number from? And the experts themselves or the one primary expert, he didn't have an actual response on where he got that number. It was a theoretical number, basically saying, hey, if you plug this number in, this is what happens. And she's like, okay, well, where did you get the number? And he's like, oh, well, it's a number that if you
It was
plug
revealed to me in a dream.
Exactly. And then towards the end, during closing arguments, when the judge started asking certain things like, hey, by the way, FTC, what about this and everything? And they didn't have an answer, or they couldn't even defend what their own expert witness was saying. That's an issue, because now you don't even know your own case. Like, forget what the expert knows or doesn't know. You don't even know what the expert's trying to convey or hide. So
Where was your source for that number? And then lives directly on mic. I made it up, Your Honor.
pretty much.
That's definitely it was definitely crazy. And the thing is, it only gets crazier from here. Honestly, Microsoft's the CMA asked CAT to pause their litigation. CMA also said that restructuring the deal could require a new probe, but also news that broke today saying that they're actually working on a deal where it's not going to trigger any more investigation. Like, they're trying to work out a deal where if X, Y, and Z happens, we're just going to approve it no matter what. We fucked up, and they're starting to realize that they were in the wrong for sure. But also, we know that this deal is basically moving forward. We'll see the official breaking news that the deal has officially happened tomorrow, because Activision Blizzard was pulled officially from the Nasdaq. It's no longer available for the public trade, so obviously all of that gets grouped into Microsoft. So we'll see that happen tomorrow. But yeah, Roger, you were alluding to this part here in regards to the lawyer and how not much of a lawyer she was, because this is Lina Khan tried to make up law and use the FTC in-house court ruling as a precedent. On top of that, Congress also found out that Khan's lawyer license is in delinquent status and that she has not paid her dues in like a few years, so she wasn't even eligible to be a lawyer legally. So like it was just mind blowing when I was like watching the videos, and I was just like,
they're trying to lose, and
this shit was done on purpose.
like
it feels
There's
like
no
it was.
way.
like
This
what
is why
happened
she's
here?
0-9 in all of her cases.
Yeah.
Actually, I would say negative wins at this point.
Honestly, it feels like Blizzard paid them off to not do a good job, and Sony's there like, hey, we have these issues, and they're like, okay, we'll look into it.
But the thing is,
do-
I
let's
would
do this.
almost agree with you. But the fact that she's 0-9 in like every case, so no matter
Let's
what
hire a lawyer.
spectrum it
That's-
is.
That's
But,
never
but that's the
won.
thing. That's why they put her up to do it, is so that they would, because this is the FTC's lawyer. Like,
I'm just waiting for her to get like dragged out of a courtroom and be like, I'm a patsy. I'm a patsy.
And to make matters worse, like during this whole like hearing they had with Congress about how bad the FTC's been going, the FTC requested a 33% budget increase, and in the end they got a 25% budget decrease, which was fucking hilarious.
Well, that's all they're gonna do
Which-
is spend it on
which
shit
is-
lawyers.
And the thing is, like, that's the problem though too. What if they didn't have the resources to do this? Maybe that truly is the reason. And now all we're doing is squeezing more agencies, because a lot of U.S. agencies are pretty underfunded.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
so happy Disney made that Mike Ross reference. Man, dude,
What,
Suits is
Suits
my
Mike
shit.
Ross? Me
Suits
and
is
the
my
wife were just
shit.
watching it.
We were
love it
literally
so
watching
much.
Suits just at lunch or dinner.
That is
Where
fucking
did you-
hilarious. That
how did you
because
do
Lauren
that?
is actually watching Suits right now as we speak.
You
How did you do
lie.
that? I
Yes,
That's the
we're
show,
literally
guys.
we're on episode 2
yeah.
of season 7, like right now.
Man, so good. So
Yeah.
good.
But
Ah,
one thing I did want to touch on though, like on what you were saying about the whole issue, is that it is possible that they don't have the proper funding to actually
Yeah.
do what you need to do. But one thing that they did say in Congress is that they wanted to use the money to actually open up a whole nother section in the FTC, so that way they can use that group to properly do other stuff. So the Congress asked and said, okay, well, what's going on with the funding right now? How much does it cost since the past 18 months you've been sending people to the UK? And she didn't have an answer on how much they've been spending or how much it even possibly costs. Now she did say she'll get back to them, but we all know what that means. But in terms of her license being like a delinquent, that's extremely off-putting. Because this is your job to, make sure the consumers are cool and everything. But not only did they say that she is not she can't practice legal law because she's no longer a lawyer currently. But also she hasn't been furthering her actual studies as well.
not doing her CEUs, and it's like, why would they ask for more money? It clearly isn't going to license dues. It isn't going to anything like that. It's not going to pay for and find reputable sources for your numbers that you fucking made up.
Yeah.
That's fine. We'll give you an increase. Where's your money been going?
Yeah, but they also dropped from like the second most I guess wanted job or whatever within the government. Like they went from being the second to like the 22nd or something like that. They dropped 50%. Like they went from being like in the 80th percentile down to the 30th.
Well, they got their
That-
shit smacked after they went for Elon. So
Yeah.
I mean, they got their little heinies smacked.
The guy from Congress asked that too. He said, "Why do you keep harassing Elon?"
They got their-
And she's like, "Oh, we're not
Yeah.
doing that." He said, "Well, in the past 6 weeks, he had like 30 something requests."
Dude,
So-
oh my god. Well, that's
I don't
just
know, man.
that's just government spending at this point.
Right.
It's never been a money issue for a lot of this stuff. It's never been a taxing issue. It's always been a spending issue. And now you have
Yeah.
people requesting a 33% budget increase, and they can't tell you where they've already
Yeah.
been spending their money. That's like if I came up, I was like, "Hey, yo, Vic, let me get $100." She's like, "All right, cool." And then I'm like, a week later, is like, "Hey, yo, can I get $100 from you?" You're like,
Where did
what
the
happened
$100?
to what happened to the $100 I gave you like last week?
I don't know.
I lost it.
Set up an appointment to talk about that. I don't have
Right.
Proper paperwork.
Or it's
So-
like I show up with like 16 bags of Fritos and a fucking case of Monster, and you're like, "Where'd that $100 go?" And I'm just like,
Mm-mm.
"I don't know, man. It's gone." I
Yeah,
need
so
more.
I just wanted to give a different take on like the whole thing with like Lena Khan, I think that's how you say her name, with her like not being properly like equipped or having the right licenses. Like, but this all comes down to like who appointed her too. Like that like who allowed her? Because like she said that she gave all the proper documentation to the HR department, and they were like, "Yep, you're good to go." And that's why I'm like, who else?
None of
Who
this,
else?
none
Who
of
else is
this
not doing their
happened
job?
by accident.
Yeah.
It
she
couldn't
is-
have.
She previously worked in the White House and such, and so she was appointed by Joe Biden in 2021. And so this is an appointment position. You know, you're appointed as a member by the president, the sitting president.
Well,
I'm shocked.
she's the chairman.
Shocked, I tell you.
She's the chairman.
Actually, I'm not that shocked.
Honestly, it just goes to show it doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat. You can't nominate anyone for shit. Like, look,
No matter
we've
what.
got, yeah. Last year last presidency we had the leader of the internet being elected by Trump, and he's just like, let's fuck it, let's just destroy the internet. And
You mean
then
Ajit Pai?
yeah.
Fucking dickhead.
Yeah,
Fucking
fuck
hit
that
him.
guy.
Just wanna
And now
fuck
we're
that
like,
guy.
okay, the FTC, Lena Khan. Okay, fuck that guy. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Like,
Why can't we
Jesus.
get anyone? And like, just because of her credentials is why she was hired.
Yeah, it's definitely crazy. But we're not done here with this case.
Delinquent.
Yeah, delinquent. But we're not done here though. Some more documentation came out from this case. Is that Microsoft document says that Activision making Call of Duty on PC a Battle.net exclusive from 2018 to 2021 was a resounding failure. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Like most people prefer to use Steam, and the Battle.net launcher. We were just talking about it earlier, and it's just like it's an okay launcher, but it's not Steam. Like everybody has Steam, and Steam works.
I've never had a problem with the Battle.net launcher.
Now I've
I
seen
mean, it's-
people all over the internet with issues with it, being like,
Yeah.
it's got to be an issue with their servers, their downloads, or shit, this and that. And I'm like, yeah, I never have those issues.
I've never had it. I did have one issue yesterday because, as I told you, I completely wiped my PC and I was reinstalling everything, and I was reinstalling Call of Duty, and it didn't launch on the first try. You know what I did? I fucking restarted the launcher,
And it worked.
and it worked. It was fine. I turned it off. Turned it
Turn it back
again.
on. Would you imagine
Go
that?
figure.
So,
Like,
but the interesting part though, like Call of Duty's community always prefers the game to have it on Steam because of the mod support that Steam offers. When Call of Duty has mod support for like the custom zombie maps and custom multiplayer and stuff like that, obviously you lead into a bunch of issues with modded lobbies that are wrong and fucked up the game. But like that's where like a lot of good content comes from. I know the zombie community thrives on having that modded community, and without it being there, you missed out on it. And then they recently added the past like 2 or 3 Call of Duties back onto Steam, and they're like, oh, we finally get mod support again for these games. And
yeah, mod support is huge.
yeah.
You have to have it. Now, granted, like you said, it comes with individual problems, game breaking sometimes. But man, mod support and player community is really you're handing people just like a canvas, and you say, hey, here's your 12 by 18 canvas, and the mod community is really the ones that go out there, do the work, make the game better, put their ideas out there, and allows for a lot of creativity that the actual studio might not have had in that moment, or like, we didn't think of this. You know, it's a second set of eyes.
Right.
So it's really huge to come back to that.
I mean, look at Fortnite. I mean, Fortnite runs primarily off of based on community creations.
Yeah.
Like a lot of companies create, like Nike just created like their own
and whoring themselves out
world
to
based off of
whatever.
Nike and stuff like that. Like it's crazy what that kind of content can lead to.
100 Thieves just dropped a map too on Fortnite as
Yeah, yeah. Like everyone has like their own thing where it's like basically the metaverse being better than meta, but in Fortnite. Like you can literally do whatever you want in Fortnite. It's
As long as
crazy.
it's not Call of Duty.
Cheaper than
Yeah.
that.
As long as
it's not a Call of Duty map, you can do whatever the fuck.
We don't want that cease and desist, man.
Right. But next up here in regards to another update, the regulatory authority of Turkey has approved the deal. So just adds to the long list. I think we're up to 39 or 40 countries have officially approved this deal now. The only lone one is the UK with the CMA blocking it. But Microsoft said they may give up some control over the UK cloud gaming business in order to get acquisition approved. So basically, like any cloud gaming stuff from Activision Blizzard will be ran by like a separate entity in the UK, I guess is how that would be handled. But I mean, outside of that, I guess I think that might be how this will get passed through because CAT has also scheduled a Microsoft and CMA case management conference for tomorrow, July 17th. So I think we're going to get the final verdict from the CMA whether they officially approve this or not. So we'll see.
They'll roll over after the FTC decision. Like I'm sure at this point it's just like, you know,
They were just holding out.
Why keep fighting?
It's because it's also mind blowing. Like we got to remember the CMA blocked it because of cloud gaming, but then in the FTC trial, cloud gaming was barely even mentioned in the entire argument. It wasn't even about that. So it's just like, we're
so
like
really,
nobody's.
what's your foundation for your argument?
What was
Like-
the FTC's argument? Because, like, honestly, I didn't catch it.
It hurts Sony.
If you want me, oh yeah, I was about to say,
Yeah, like, I was just joking. Like, it didn't feel like they had an argument.
They were
Our-
literally just quoting Jim
our
Ryan.
old-
That's all they were doing.
Our old fraternity brothers over at Sony are really getting fucked out of this. So if you could, we're gonna get the Federal Trade Commission to just fight for Sony's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like the Turkey thing's not surprising. They're way too busy trying to make sure Sweden doesn't become a part of NATO. And the CMA, that's just I think it's gonna roll. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's just gonna roll over. They're gonna say nope, done, and then
Because honestly, we just wasted 18 months because Xbox and PlayStation has now officially signed the agreement to bring Call of Duty to the PlayStation for the next at least 10 years. I mean, we don't have the official the agreement documentation from that, but it's officially been signed. It's been announced on Twitter from Phil Spencer, and thanking PlayStation for finally making this agreement. But it's like, why did it take all of this to finally get it? And like, it came down to like, damn, like Xbox at some point could have been like, you know what, we offered you the agreement. You're no longer going to get Call of Duty the same way that everyone else is going to get Call of Duty.
well, and they absolutely did screw themselves in that way. Like at this point, it's like you are playing by our rules now. Here's what you're gonna get, and that's it. Because we could have done this. We could have made this a super sweet deal for everybody involved. You didn't want to, so now that I have the bigger stick, you're gonna play exactly how I want to play now.
Right, because Jim Ryan was definitely trying to put it on the table because he was like, you know, we want Call of Duty, but we also want all of the Bethesda games on PlayStation now too. And he was like, that has nothing to do with this deal. Why are we even talking about it?
Yeah, it's like why is that even getting brought up? Like, what are you give them an inch, they take a mile.
Yeah.
That's something that could have been later on maybe negotiated and talked about, but that's why would you throw that in there? Why would
What I
you throw
will
that in there?
say, they did say that one of the reasons that Sony didn't originally go for the 10-year deal was apparently because Overwatch 2 was not on the list of games that will remain on PlayStation. So I don't know if that's their sole reason or they also wanted to throw other things in there. I don't know. But that was one of the reasons why Sony didn't want to do it. But I mean, you could have just made a whole separate freaking contract for that, bro. Like, you know, lock down Call of Duty. That's your money getter right there. That pays
your
the lights for your studios.
And the thing is, like,
Call of Duty keeps the lights on.
so
That is it.
I did like read into it more, like from the government officials, like from their point, because like obviously they're not gamers, they're not really big into that stuff, and they're like 10 years to bring one game or one IP for the next 10 years. Like, is Call of Duty even going to be relevant in 10 years? Is the question. Like, we don't know that. Like, we like they don't know it. Like, we know how Call of Duty is, but like, dude, like they don't know. They're like, Call of Duty 10 years from now, like that can
That's
change
like,
drastically.
Comparatively to some of the people that have been making these arguments and some of these people that have been trying to put up that fight, like they need to just sit down and shut up. Because they need to let somebody who understands this stuff, like the gaming industry, take a ride there.
Not only that, it just speaks to the issue of age inside of our electoral body. Our generation, and I'm saying our generation as people of the age 25 to 35, you're pretty much stuck right now in the sense that we have less than 10% of the governing power, whereas people over the age of 50 to 60 have about 75% of the voting power. These are the same people who sit there in the same conversation with Mark Zuckerberg and ask him about Twitter.
Mr. Chow, why is it every time I open TikTok I see nothing but little lady boys? And can you tell me what is an algorithm? Like, those are the fucking people that are trying to make this decision. You mean to tell me it connects to
my internet,
to the wireless, to the internet? So you're telling me that TikTok
The
Gets-
fact that you
gets the
sound just
internet.
like that guy is bothering me.
I wish I had my glasses on because I would put them down on my nose and be like, Mr. Chow, you mean to tell me that other devices on my network
Communicate?
are accessible by TikTok? The TikTok
Yeah.
application
The TikTok.
actually
The TikTok, yes,
The
it's
TikTok.
fucking great.
actually sees my laptop. Why? Why does TikTok get on the internet?
It's like the same guy from, I think it was like Alabama or one of them. He's a senator and he's like, "Oh, what you mean you can see me heart these statuses of these gay men who are posing for me on my Twitter or on my TikTok?" And it's like, "Yeah, bud, we can all see your statuses and your likes and everything." And he's like, "Oh, well, I was just telling him he looked good." And you're like,
You're gonna
Yeah.
lose your shit when you find out about saved videos.
"Oh my god."
Your saved videos. That's
But these are
fucking
but
great.
these are the people that are trying to
Yeah.
they're trying to make these arguments, and they're trying to be like, well, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen with Call of Duty? Is Call of Duty still gonna be around in 10 years? Like, I don't know, dude. It was around for the last 20.
Yeah.
What do you want? What do you
What
fucking?
do you-
do?
But honestly, like I'm in.
It
I'm
was dead after Black Ops 3, and that obviously didn't happen.
Right, but honestly,
People
like
wrote on walls, that's horrible.
obviously, like I'm huge into gaming, and I even have that question: is Call of Duty even going to be relevant in 10 years? Because to me, they don't listen to their community. Like they just keep. There's just no competition right now is the issue. But with all of
yeah.
this new competition that's about to come into the market, Call of Duty it has to do something to win their community over, which they just did. Which I think wasn't sure if I was covering it now or I might cover it later, but I'll just throw it in there now. Is that the day that the deal was approved by the FTC, all of the old Call of Duty games, their servers got like a boost. They all got an update,
yeah.
and now you can find instant matches with fucking any game that you want. And there's like 100,000 people playing Black Ops 1. There was like
You gonna say we
15,000
all gonna
playing
load
Black
into
Ops 2.
2 after this?
Like it's fucking crazy. And I was just like,
Yeah.
you're telling me you could have
What's
fixed,
this?
and this goes to show why they issued those cease and desist letters. We just got our answer now. You can go back and play those games without any issues. So
And what's sad is they just shut down Warzone 1.
yeah. on top of that, so enough of the Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal. I'm sure we'll be talking about it next week as always. But Scott, if you want to talk about the updates coming from Twitch, because it's actually some good news here for once.
Yeah, Twitch really hit the nail on the head with a lot of some of the changes that they've just announced. So they're doing improvements to the clip editor, promoting more control over clips, bringing the tool to mobile as well, and offering
Thank
direct
God.
exports to TikTok as of August, which is gonna be huge. We were just talking
is
about
gonna be huge.
TikTok in a funnier sense. But yeah, that's become a huge place to put game clips, things like that. So that's awesome. That's huge.
Hell yeah,
And then
because
nobody-
I was streaming the other day playing Valorant on my thing, and I was just like, I want to be able to clip my ace and throw it right on the TikTok. And
the TikTok, I love it.
the convoluting like what I had to do to get it there was I had to export the video, go in the Premiere Pro, clip it out, edit it. Then that's doing the
And this
fucking
is-
most.
This is gonna be undoing all of that work that you have to do.
Yeah,
It's gonna make it much more accessible, which is huge.
Looking forward to it.
a
Compression
lot
and
of people.
decompression every time you have to move from one app or program to another
Every
is
time.
insane.
Yeah.
So like having that integrated in there,
Yeah,
chef's kiss,
it's
man.
absolutely chef's kiss. And I heard they have a cat you can pet.
That,
But on top of that, they'll also introduce Discovery Feed, which is going to allow users to explore clips as they would on TikTok.
that's dope.
So scrolling through an algorithm-driven catalog of clips. So you start looking up Call of Duty, Diablo, Pikmin 4 clips and things like that. That's going to start feeding you that, which is super cool. Now they're marking featured clips, which will see streamers favoriting clips and will surface more readily in the Discovery feed. So as things are favorited, as things are there, the more popular clips are going to be some of the first things you see, which will be really, really cool. And they're adding stories to Twitch. So that was I thought it was pretty weird to just kind of rip and do stories like you would on Instagram,
welcome to
Snapchat,
2015,
Facebook.
guys.
Yes. It's just doing it way late, like the technology of stories, technology of yesterday is at Twitch tomorrow. But no, that'll be really cool. It's really a lot of stuff that's going to allow them to become more of the social media platform that they've wanted to be, and they've been aiming at. And a lot of this stuff is really going to make that stuff work for them. So what they've also done, which I think we might venture into here shortly, will be the improvements they've made to the guest star feature. So this will be easier for streamers to collaborate and stream together. So they're going to make that much easier to do for, if, like tomorrow we may still have that Warzone tournament. And guest star might be how we do that. It really depends, but it'll be easier down the line. And then they're going to be doing shared mod comments, which enables mods and streamers to share comments about why certain users are banned, which is excellent. Like, here's your reasoning. Brand new alert system, which can be optimized with features like an alert randomizer and emote customization options. They've added stream events with streamerversaries, but it's being expanded to include in real life birthdays and more events like that to come after they start that initial push for it. So what they've also done is they've enhanced ad breaks. So with Twitch offering better control over ad breaks on the platform, including the ability to snooze them to avoid a key moment being interrupted, which is awesome. Like they do it in all the shows, like, big decision time. Like we were just watching Next Level Chef, which is one of our guilty pleasures as a show, and they're like, oh right, and the next dish that's going to elimination is, and then Hulu, because they can't
Nissan, come join your
Hulu, and Hulu can't control the levels of their ads for some reason. They're insanely loud. Not sure if anybody has dealt with this, but it's like, all right, and the next
You have ads on Hulu?
Going to elimination is welcome to Honda Day. It's like, it's just random shit like that. So this will stop that, which is going to be. This is really one of the bigger things that I think coming out of here is the ad break enhancement, so you can
excites.
Innovation that excites.
Clearly, these ads are working.
Yeah, absolutely. We know it. We know exactly where we're gonna. Got you $1. But that to me is one of the bigger ones that really stands out. Is just that ad break that just injects itself into your stream, especially when you have moments like that. So
I'm glad you picked up on it, lady friend. Why I asked you how you
yeah.
have ads.
Yeah,
and
we have the cheap version. We ain't paying for that shit. I already paid for too much shit anyway. Like we already have way too many subscriptions.
Because it's weird, right? So like we get Hulu
Like,
and the whole bundle included into our phone bill, like for free. It was like with Verizon, it was like part of the contract or whatever. But it was like, but if you want the ad-free version, you got to pay for that separately. So I paid like $13 a month to get the ad-free version.
And that's what we're doing. We did the phone plan bundle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then I think my other one came with Disney Plus. So we're working. Yeah, we're working with what we got here.
Yeah, you gotta do it.
The ads, Hulu.
You gotta do what you gotta
out
do.
Our eardrums, just in the middle of the night for no reason.
For sure.
Just trying to see what's going on. We just want to know who wins, my guy.
So overall, good news hearing from Twitch. Obviously, with Kick, just booming right now in the market, taking a lot of streamers. Because I contemplated moving our show over to Kick, but I was like, man, we got to rebuild. Like, we got to become an affiliate again. Like, that's a fucking process. Yeah. And it's just like, man, that's not easy for somebody we're a small community and building it up. That took a while to get to where I was.
Yeah, exactly. And it's about time they did a lot of these.
Yeah. A
lot of these are things that people have wanted for so long, and we had spoke about Twitch. I want to say it was like maybe 3-4 episodes ago, where we were talking about Twitch really screwing over a lot of creators with their ads and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So to basically, turn 360 degrees and go the opposite way.
Pretty sure that's
I know that one was for Roger. That one was for Roger.
I saw his face change, and I was
for him. That one was just for him. No, to see a lot of these changes, it's really good. But speaking of some changes,
Roger,
what's going on with hardware laws?
So the EU has another win in the right to repair world. Something that the US is definitely really moving towards is right to repair, and that's something that Apple has been fighting for a long time. And Apple's not the only company that's doing this. Nintendo is guilty of it. Steam is guilty of it.
The biggest one in the United States. The biggest one in the United States for a while was John Deere.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
John Deere with their tractors and the inability for you without a software update to maintain your own tractor. That's money on the table. You have
there's $60,000 pieces of equipment and you couldn't repair it yourself.
they're
That's
half
crazy.
$1 million
Insane.
pieces of equipment sometimes, and they're like, yeah, after you changed your oil, but we got to come do a software update afterwards, or you can't drive it. And it's like,
And you have to pay us.
what?
That is
And
nuts.
you have to pay us.
Have
to do it.
fun.
Well, what happened is in the EU, a new law has now cemented that Switch and Steam Deck and other handhelds will, in the market, need to have replaceable batteries if built after 2027. So now moving forward, the Steam Deck as well as the Switch handheld and any other of those handheld consoles that we are going to see as the handheld revolution takes place, they all have to have replaceable batteries. Even if they're rechargeable, you still need to be able to replace them as a user.
I liked it.
Yeah, I'm
Which is
just
great. I really wish they would extend that same sentiment to like laptops as
Yeah.
well, because a lot more laptops are just coming with irreplaceable batteries, and I mean
And the
when you,
batteries, we have them at work now where they swell and they blow the fucking trackpad. It killed
Yeah.
Disney's Apple. And they were like, yeah, sorry. Yeah, it killed your Apple computer, but we're still going to charge you a bunch of money. And we're like, no, this is your fault. You gave us a faulty battery.
yeah.
yeah, and they're like
Um,
that sucks. Really sorry, but what we can do is we can give you a link to a new MacBook if you would like.
But
Does that help ease the
the
pain?
the issue that I see, not with this for the gaming handhelds, it works for that, but is the cell phone part of it, because cell phones have been grouped into this where like all phones after 2027 I think also have to have a replaceable battery, and I'm just like that's gonna be the hard part with like how do you balance that, but then also have like waterproof phones. Like it's gonna be almost impossible to make the phone almost.
The battery cell itself can be waterproofed. You can waterproof the individual.
But it's like
piece.
the being able to take the back off of your phone, like that's the key part, because the iPhone is sealed. Like I have to use a heat gun to heat my phone up, because I can take the battery out myself if I want to. I'd have to take the screws out, heat the damn thing up, and then take it out because I'm releasing that waterproofing seal. Where like that's going to be almost difficult to even have a waterproofing seal if you just have to make it really user friendly to be able to replace the battery. I just don't see how they're going to be able to balance this.
Well,
It'll
Not at all.
probably.
no,
yeah.
I think they're gonna lean towards. I'm
All
sorry,
I
go
gotta
ahead.
say is, if a child's tub toy can have batteries in it, your fucking iPhone can.
Yeah. There's a reason for why you had to do all that bullshit work. Because you wanna know
Yeah.
why? You don't have a fucking right to repair. They can make it so that those things are accessible
Yeah.
and still waterproof.
You're making arguments that aren't really valid, because like there are already examples existing in the real world. This is how technology works. And if they go,
Those
"Oh,
are just some
well,
of the
we're not
arguments that I did see that I wanted to bring forth to you guys to see your,
no,
yeah,
your
and I
points.
just want to
absolutely.
make, all they are is arguments being brought forth by fanboys and the company itself saying, well, if you're making us do this, then we're going to remove this feature. That's just
Yeah.
called blackmail.
And also, I think what
It's-
people also forget is that there's levels to waterproof and water resistant and stuff. And
Yeah.
like if you go like Android user here, if you go back as far as like the Galaxy S5, that was considered water resistant / water proof and everything.
And you can replace the
And-
battery.
Exactly. So like these things can happen.
If a
But
small
also-
company like Samsung can do it,
Oh,
then I
yeah,
guess
tiny
Apple
small
can too.
company.
A small little
Yeah, a
indie
little mom and
developer
pop shop,
named
like, come on.
Samsung.
Yeah, that's great.
No, it's 100% possible, Vic, to do that, and you can compartmentalize individual cell phone pieces, not lose a lot of real estate. When it comes down to it, you can make it so the battery is the only thing you see when you take the back off, and you can still make it water resistant and waterproof. That argument, valid initially when you're like, oh well, what's going to happen to that? But that argument exists because companies like Apple
Or people that are just illiterate. Like honestly, I don't know how phones are
people
built
that-
and what are the
and
possibilities
this
with it
isn't,
anyway.
This isn't to say, oh, you're illiterate to cell phones. It's like, so people that genuinely don't know, you ask the genuine question, and
You're
it's
misinformed.
when you have companies like Apple saying that that's the question that everyone needs to ask, when Apple knows damn well that
It's because they would have to
possible.
redesign the phone out of
They-
how they want to design the phone. Is what it
Yeah.
comes down to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What I think the other issue is too is that it won't be much of a redesign because this is Apple's also the same company who took out the headphone jack and said they needed it for more space.
And they
Yeah.
And the
stole
very
it
next-
back.
Yet the very next iPhone and everything without the headphone jack, they popped it open and stuff. Was it jerry rig everything? He popped the phone open and it was just an empty spot right there.
It
So
was
it's like-
it was complete void.
yeah,
It was
like-
just a whole void. They did that,
Just
and
give us
they,
some
they,
bucks,
they
that's
took the
all.
home. They took the home button and they sold it back to you. They took your fucking headphone jack. They sold it back to you. Next, they're just gonna start being like, "Well, here's your actual phone, but the screen is its own little piece."
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, so yeah, Apple wants to pretend like this shit can't be done, and
But-
they know damn well it did. They're like, "Do you have any idea how many fucking 5-year-olds this is gonna take to fix?" That's what they're
So-
fucking doing.
I just want to give the EU a shout out though with all of their movements for technology and just making everything a lot better for the consumer, honestly. But the replaceable batteries, but also requiring all phones and all devices that require like a charger will be going to
The
USB-C.
same.
Yeah, USB Type C, and I'm like so
Yes.
fucking excited.
Fuck Apple.
Be-
Apple can eat a big
I
one,
don't
a
understand
big
why
piece of
the
pie.
phone never went to Type C, because most of all of their iPads
Because
now use
it's-
Type C, and all of their laptops use Type C.
It's because they want your money.
Money.
They want
Money,
your
bitch.
money. They want
don't
to
care.
be proprietary. They need everything to be fucking Apple proprietary, so they can fucking take your headphone jack and sell it back to you. Take your
Which I
home button
never
and sell it
needed
back to you.
after I
and
lost
now they're gonna be like, well, here we're not making the phones USB-C, maybe, but here's a $40 adapter. Fucking take it. What are you gonna do? Not charge your phone? Eat
The
shit.
only
Buy my
thing that I'm
adapter.
worried about that is because again, Apple is Apple. So you know when you plug in a cord that's into the phone and a message will pop up like, "Hey, this isn't the
And
right
if it's-
cord." They're going to do that with USB-C.
If
I
it's not
promise you, they're going to.
proprietary.
Oh yeah.
They fuck your phone
No,
up.
but you want to hear some crazy shit that I did here is that they're going to remove the charging port altogether because it has the wireless charging on the back, and they're just like, you don't even need to use Type C. You have to use
Mag-
wireless charging now.
MagSafe it.
MagSafe or wireless charging. Yeah.
Oh, fucking ridiculous, man. I'll tell you what though about wireless charging. Back when I was in college, I had a buddy who was like an investor and stuff like that, and I'm like, yeah, I got $30 in my bank account, never gonna happen. And he's like, man, if you ever get a chance, put it into wireless power. And I was like, okay, I'll never do that.
And now you're like,
I'm like, damn it,
Damn
dude.
it.
I'm like, shit, he was right. He was so right.
Right.
Especially
So
when Apple takes your fucking charging port.
let's move on here though. That was great to talk about all of the industry news, but we do got some upcoming game news. So I'm going to kick it off here with Xbox, as we do every week. We got just some minor updates, honestly, here. First off, is Xbox launches a new voice reporting feature. I did realize that we double posted this in the Discord. I was like, oh, cool. I was actually not the first person to post it this the first time. Paul, I think
I
you were the
noticed
first
that.
person. I was like, yeah, that's a first. That doesn't happen too often, but, it does happen. But this is awesome to see. I mean, they've had basically reporting for, like, texting and every other way of reporting, but now, like, how the voice reporting stuff works is that anytime that your voice is used in, whether it's a party chat or game chat, it's stored specifically on your console and it's encrypted. So like Microsoft, I guess, has the only access to it for that 24 hours and then it's gone. Gets deleted immediately. It doesn't save to the cloud. It doesn't save to their servers. It's directly to your console. So I was like, this is great. We honestly need this because obviously we see how toxic some game chats get. But I mean, we all lived through the OG Modern Warfare 2 lobbies. Like I fucked your mom. And all this other shit that went down in them chats. So
This is
Yeah.
nothing new.
it's not new, but it's good to
Valorant's
see.
Been doing it. Overwatch has been doing it. Everyone's doing it now, and like Microsoft is the last one to the party. It feels
Yeah.
like.
Big shout out to my mom for making all of those guys, turning all of those boys
Fucking
into
Odin,
men.
man, exactly. I piss everybody off every time we play Valorant. But Roger, me and you were having a conversation of like, when are we getting Family and Friends Game Pass? But it's been in preview program for a while since last year, and it's actually ending on August 15th. And I think we're getting Family and Friends officially next month.
Yeah, how do you end the program but not
Announce.
actually, yeah, like what? Okay, sorry, we're ending friends and family. You gotta buy them a pass now. Sorry, go fuck. No, I don't think that's gonna happen. If Microsoft does do that though, get fucked, I guess.
Yeah, get fucked, I guess. I was waiting for you, like, well, because of this
Shout
law.
out to Activision.
No, get fucked.
No, I
Like,
do think that they're
honestly-
going to announce it because with Starfield dropping like that, September 1st, if you buy the special edition, it only makes sense that you're going to have family and friends because they want more people to be able to get into the Game Pass and have an easier way entry level. Hey, my friend plays Xbox. Hey, let's get family and friends because it's cheaper already with two people.
What I will say about that though is that for those who were following the, not to harken back to the FTC case, but there was a slide that was shown that Microsoft had like a three-stage plan, and after the acquisition was to go through, their plan was to actually cancel Xbox Live
Mhm.
and have the service actually be free. So, like, this kind of does fall in line with the whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
Free
I
Xbox
could-
Live. How would that be? How would that be? How about
You no longer got to pay for the service. Now
Why-
we're doing what
why not?
PlayStation was doing a long time ago, but here we are.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing the three levels will just be Game Pass, Game Pass Ultimate, and Game Pass Family and Friends would be the three.
Well, no. I mean, their stage was it wasn't in stages of purchase. It was staged as in like create a service, create the software, make shit free. Like that's the
Okay.
stage.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah. Okay.
talking-
Okay. I follow you now.
Because like if you have Game Pass, for those who have it, you already know you get certain incentives. So like an easy incentive would be like, hey, listen, if you have Game Pass, the early access that PlayStation gets now, shit's going away after this game, but it'll still stay for you if you have Game Pass, or you don't gotta pay for the Battle Pass if you have Game Pass. So those certain incentives is what's really going to carrying on the purchase for Game Pass, and I can see friends and family making a comeback with all these special features for Activision games.
And your Hulu ads will stop.
You get Hulu. You get the test out Hulu ad free for free for
That's
75
Hulu
days.
ad-free for fucking everybody who's on PC Pass or Xbox Pass Ultimate.
Yeah. Next up here in regards to updates, some sad news because man, like he was a huge part of the Xbox community. We got Larry Herb, aka Major Nelson, is officially leaving Xbox after putting in 20 years of time with Xbox, and he wants to go spend time more with his family. Shout out to him. And he said he just wants a change of his career. I mean, he's been working with Microsoft for a long ass fucking time, and man, I listen to his podcast every week, the Xbox podcast. I've always listened to all his shows, even on the 360 from back in the day, and it's just like, man, we're about to miss out on somebody who is like an icon of what Xbox is. But it's good.
Major was every sense of the term like the trailblazer for that. Like shout out to a real one. I mean anything. Yeah, like Disney says, it's well deserved. He put in the work for us. He really did. Like he put in his heart. Like,
And this wasn't his first job either. So like 20 years. That's 15 shy of like retiring from government. Like that's
yeah. It's crazy how much he put into that. And so like to take a break to spend more time with his family. Who doesn't love that, right?
Yeah.
Who doesn't love a wholesome end to that journey? It's love to see it. Like Disney said, it's well deserved. But yeah, we lost a real one for sure.
I mean, he's been with the company for so long. When I was younger, there was a point in time where I thought what Phil Spencer is today,
That's-
you
yeah.
could have mistaken him for that. Like, he
Yeah.
was literally just the face of
Xbox.
and
Yeah.
He
everything.
was
And-
he was the guy. Like
yeah,
that
you
was
saw,
it.
You saw him
When
everywhere. He was
when
on
you thought about
X-Play.
Xbox. Yep. Yeah.
Exactly.
He was
X-Play.
X-Play. Like, dude, when you thought about Xbox, you thought of Major Nelson.
Yeah.
That's
And,
what
and
it was.
honestly, he's one of my idols for creating a podcast.
Yeah.
I've listened to his podcast since day one, and like he just gave me motivation to eventually create this. And I mean, here we are today. We're giving him a shout out, sending him off, and that's great.
Yeah. It's like Chaz Michaels is figure skating, and Major Nelson is soon to be was Xbox.
Hell yeah. But just last update for Xbox is this in regards to a game that was recently announced at ID Xbox. I know it's a pretty big game. I think it's over on PC if I'm not mistaken. It is Everspace 2. It is finally coming to Xbox and it's coming to Game Pass day one. And I know this made a lot of noise on Twitter, so I was like, I got to drop this in here because this is one of many games that was showcased at that ID at Xbox, a showcase that they did with IGN. And yeah, Everspace 2. Roger, is this a game you played on PC at all, or at all you want to check it out?
No, but the fact that like it's coming it's not really day one because it's been out since April. That's the thing. Like I can't really give them credit for it because it came out April 6, 2023.
For Xbox, or was that the PC release or PlayStation release?
That was just the release of the game. whether
Okay.
it be on PC or console.
Yeah, I think they're referring to the day one as like the first time it's on Xbox. It's coming to Game
console.
Pass. Yeah, it's coming to get Xbox, and it's coming to Game Pass day one for
It's
it.
cool though that it is.
Yeah, nonetheless. But let's talk about the rival of Xbox, the best gaming company in the world, PlayStation.
Yeah, I didn't see your air quotes when you did that, so I'm gonna need you to redo it.
So we were talking about it a few weeks back about Ratchet and Clank not requiring an SSD, and they said if you want to play it on a toaster, you can. The game will require an HD hard drive if you play it at the lowest of the low settings. And is it really playable at the lowest of the low settings? We'll see. But like, you can't really stop somebody from installing something on PC on a hard drive if you want. They're just saying if you want to try it, I guess you can. Because like at the end of the day, they can't really check to see if you can install it on an be oh sorry, can't install it. It's an SSD, not an SSD. You know, it's
Yeah,
Steam.
like
If they're selling it on Steam, it has to be installed everywhere. So
The fact
think
that I
that's
could
the
run
big
this
thing.
on the minimum settings is great.
yeah, you could. You could. I'm not
Yeah, it'll be-
saying
I'm not
It'll be
recommending
Redfall
it,
all over
but
again.
but it says because
Playable.
it says average performance would be 720p at 30 FPS, very low settings. The graphics is the minimum is a GTX 960, Intel i3. I have the i7. I think I said 8 GB of RAM. I'm good.
You've got
75
32.
If you enjoy playing, like slide
PlayStation
shows,
2.
go
I mean,
ahead.
I bought this, so if I want to.
slideshow.
My man's is gonna hop into a PowerPoint sim. Playable, yes. Enjoyable,
No,
not
probably
really.
not. Nonetheless,
It'd be Redfall all
it just
over again, buddy.
just still makes me question though. Like, so the SSD was not required on the PS5 then
No.
to play
I
then?
think it was. Is the idea to make it really the quality that it was, because that game was pristine. I have no complaints about Ratchet and Clank on the PS5. That shit actually played.
We'll find out though. If it runs fairly smooth without an SSD, even with better graphics cards and stuff like that, it's going to make you wonder. Like, that was a
don't
gimmick on the
think it's
PS5.
like-
I think it's gonna run, but smooth is. I think that's
Yeah,
gonna be the issue.
I
'cause-
think you're
yeah.
asking a lot there.
But
We'll
I
see.
also think it's weird because Sony likes to play with words a lot too. Like when Miles Morales was coming out and everything, built from the ground up for the PS5, only
wasn't.
possible on the PS5, and then
Impossible everywhere else
Yeah.
for the PS5.
Not built from the ground up. It was really
Yeah.
just a DLC
But
of the Spider-Man.
What I will say, just like he said, is that like the buttery smoothness of the game is what I would say why the necessity for that SSD or the speed of the SSD was required, or not required, but rather picked, I guess.
Required.
Yeah,
In this
requ-
case,
yeah.
the thing is, as you said, they like to play with their words. And-
Required
and
asterisk.
Microsoft does the same fucking shit.
Always.
So we
yeah.
can't fault
No,
them.
because
Microsoft
remember,
does
me and
the
you talked
same
about that
shit all
about
the time.
Medium.
All about marketing.
The Medium,
Yeah.
we talked about that, the exclusive on Xbox that came to other consoles later.
And they were like,
it required an
"It's on our
SSD,
console."
and we
Yeah.
were like, now it's playable on PC with a hard drive, and they're just like, was it?
Yeah, but well,
We required an SSD. That's the thing. Our console couldn't do it without it.
Yeah, it's really confusing here, guys.
Yeah, it's all wordplay and marketing. You eat the shit up. That's what you do. You eat it and you just
But that
move on.
it kills us who cover this kind of stuff all the time. We're like, it doesn't. Like, why are you lying to
we
us?
have to go back and be like, we're sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you go ahead and redact that statement.
Yeah, but let's talk about something good. The PlayStation is getting their hardware update for an accessibility controller launching December this year. It will be a single joystick with a round of buttons to be able to do what you want, and it's customizable so that you can change what each button is. It's really so that anyone can play the console.
Yeah, as you
And
can
it
see here on
looks
screen.
pretty fire.
Oh yeah, no, that looks.
And it's like completely like modifiable. It has like a bunch of things that you can like plug into it. Just like when Xbox had their accessibility controller. It's just glad to see that we're finally bringing it over to the number one selling controller or console right now.
the best.
Yeah.
It's
The best. Just
No,
the best.
so-
Because this was the Xbox
Every time
One.
we bring up accessibility, it's always so good to see more
Improve.
companies more companies making things more accessible, improving on them, making it so really anybody can play the game that they want to. This is no bad news. This is a no bad news portion because every time you make something accessible, I mean, if you make this shit accessible with tin cans and string, it's still accessible, and it allows somebody who couldn't have played this game or played this console before the chance to play this game and play this console. And we never do enough for accessibility, but seeing this is a huge win.
Yeah, and I'm actually really interested to see how Naughty Dog's going to incorporate it into their games because their games are notorious for having accessibility, like for especially The Last of Us 2. They did really, really good for people who have who suffer with whatever I guess form of blindness you have and everything. They have many different options for that, or people who are losing their hearing and stuff like that. So I'm very curious to see what they'll do with this controller because I know they'll do a good job.
This is a sky's the limit for them for Naughty Dog. I mean, their accessibility has been top notch, and it's something to model after. Really, I mean, if you're
it rivals Forza Horizon.
yeah, if you're not willing to put in the work to make these games more accessible, then I mean, eventually get beaten. I don't know what you want because accessibility is such a huge portion of this, and it's a very, very important piece of the gaming industry. And Naughty Dog's been great, and like you said, Horizon was.
For sure.
I do love the design of these things. Like
It looks sweet.
Yeah, because I like it's also just a simplicity. Like I remember when I first saw the Xbox one, the first thing that came to my head was the Donkey Kong bongos from the game thing, and then this one looks like the more advanced Atari controller. So it's like the simplicity of it and everything. It's just like I love it and everything. Not saying that's what they were going for, but it's great.
For sure. So let's move on to some other great news here from EA. EA had three big announcements this week.
Yeah, EA had three major announcements. So UFC 5 was announced, and we're gonna get a full reveal set in September. Another big one, FC 24, was officially revealed. This is the successor to the FIFA games that people have been wanting for a while. They've wanted that successor. They didn't know who it was going to be, what's going on, but that was officially revealed. The standard edition is going to be $70. It's going to be released on September 29th of this year. And then now, even bigger now, women players will be available in the Ultimate Team for the first time.
That shit's fire. Because I don't know about you, but the United States women team could probably absolutely demolish the United States men's team. Just saying.
They got. Never mind. Just stop.
I know. But no, it looks dope. I've seen some gameplay from it, and it's cool to see like women playing in same game with the men.
I'm pretty sure they got shit out by high schoolers, but we're stopping because it doesn't matter now. If you want to play as them and beat up on somebody, you can.
You can do it,
which is the important part. After that, they've also announced Marvel's Black Panther. So it was announced as a new single-player third-person game. So it's going to be coming out from Cliffhanger Games as the studio. A lot of good things coming out of there. With Black Panther, everybody loves Black Panther. It was such a well done character in the MCU, and now they get a chance to make this a really, really well made game to follow up with the love for that character.
And I'm just curious, like, obviously this is a huge announcement, but they already have, like, another game in the works with Black Panther and Captain America that are in the works, too. So Black Panther's getting a lot of shine right now from, obviously, the movie. The second movie was just released about last year, I think, or 2 years ago. And then, obviously, with these two games, so they're definitely riding the high right now. So that's great to see. But I'm glad to see that this is a single-player focused game because I didn't want another Marvel's Avengers game. I couldn't do it. I really couldn't do it. No, I couldn't do it. I was a dumpster fire.
It was just too good, and every game I've played after that has.
Because like all of the Spider-Man games have been great. I'm sure the Wolverine game that comes out, Wolverine's going to be great. You had Guardians of the Galaxy was also another great one. It's just like these like story-focused games that weren't worried about doing everything under the sun and being a live service game is what this is what they need, and I think this is going to do good. I'm worried because it's coming from EA, but this is a brand new studio, so we might get something that's different than the normal EA stuff we get.
But EA, the fine makers of Jedi Survivor,
Publishers.
I mean, the publishers.
Because they're developed by Respawn. Can't forget
Yeah,
that.
Respawn,
the,
yeah.
the OGs.
But
the
either
goats.
way, I think that this is another IP that they're really gonna try to do good by.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
So let's move on to a game that we were just talking about a little bit ago with Call of Duties. They had some new news. Obviously, we talked about the older Call of Duty servers were fixed, so might be time to go hop in and relive your 2007 to 2012 memories again. Go have fun. I know Molly Mall hit me up the other day and was like, "Yo, I just downloaded Black Ops 1 and Modern Warfare 3. Yo, this shit's lit." And I was like, "You going through memory lane right now when we was high school playing them shits together." So that was good to see. Basically all the games are playable again. Even like I said, Black Ops 1 had over 100,000 players, and mind you, this is the time where games actually showed you how many people were online, because now it don't even tell you at all. And that shit.
Well, they
really
don't want to admit that nobody's fucking playing the game.
Right. But the fact that like Black Ops 1 on the Xbox 360 had over 100,000 people playing. That doesn't include PlayStation numbers or the PC numbers as well. So I can only imagine how many people were playing that game.
Yeah, you love to see it.
God, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. Like, I just have this big horrible memory in my head. Who was the guy that was in charge of Xbox before Phil Spencer? Do you remember his name?
We'll find it out.
Yeah.
Well, while you look that up, I remember when they announced the Xbox One and people were complaining about the price, and he was like, "Well, if you can't afford it, just get a 360."
Oh, you
It
talking
seems
about
like a
Don
lot of
Metric?
people- Yeah,
Don Metric, yeah.
It seems like a lot of people kept their 360s because everybody
I still have
next-
mine in my basement.
Me
Yeah, I
too,
have
got my
one.
360 and my OG Xbox.
Yeah, I have a 360. I have the Xbox. I have two Xbox Ones. I have the Series X. Yeah.
Yeah,
Obviously, I'm working on collecting them. I have a PS1, PS2, PS4. I need a 3 and a 5, and I'll have that collection.
I'm trying to collect all the old collector's editions my mom and my pop would have bought me when I was younger. I know you
Yeah.
saw earlier, Vic.
Yeah. I was like, what? I had to put that emoji. I was like, you said what? And it's crazy every time I
Don
run it.
Metric.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So when I stopped into Play and Trade the other day, because that's actually where I bought my PS2 from, and I'm good friends with the owner, and they have all like steelbook cases across the top, and I was like, how much you want for those? And he was like, oh, we're not selling those. We're going to collect them and just treat them as like decoration in the store. I was like, bro, like I would fucking throw bread at them shits. I would literally just buy them and swap out my cases for these shits behind me.
Check out the website Macari.
Macari.
It's like it's kind of like OfferUp or eBay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would definitely check that. That's where I've been finding a lot of. I found my Alan Wake collector's edition, still factory sealed. The Splinter Cell Conviction factory sealed. Mark Echo's Getting Up, still factory sealed, and all
Damn.
collector's editions.
Yeah, I might have to check
Dang.
that out for sure. But speaking about Call of Duty though, is
Nice.
Season 4 Reloaded just came out the other day, and with updates, they added a playlist rotation for the Resurgence map, so it's going to cycle between Ashika and the new map Vondel. There's a new weapon available, the MX Guardian shotgun, which has been super overpowered. It's a fully auto shotgun that has
There
like
we go.
crazy range, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, nobody wanted that. Then Warzone update, Battle Royale is now coming to Vondel, which also brings in a new Gulag, which is just like a remake of the showers from the Verdansk. So they could have just brought like it's new Gulag, but it's old
Just
Bulldog.
give me Verdansk
Yeah, they're going to do everything they can except bring you back Verdansk.
or
I mean,
Rebirth
well-
Island.
Well,
They have an
technically,
entire
they
playlist.
are giving us Verdansk back, which is only on
Call of Duty
Warzone
mobile. Yeah. Within Warzone, though, there's a new occupational scan, which is a return thing from Warzone 1, where, like, after a certain time, if you don't go prone, you're going to be highlighted on the map like an advanced UAV. There's a new contract called Signals Intelligence, new portable redeploy drones, which is also from Warzone 1 that's just coming over to this now. But the interesting part here is the crossover event they got going on with the boys. Within that, the whole map has been like themed around, so you'll see posters and things on the wall all around the show. But like, there's a new field upgrade that randomizedly turns you into a superhero. You either get super jump, you get laser eyes, you get an electric shock, or you teleport, which is like the fucking thing from Fortnite where you end up the rifts and shit. And I was just like, yeah, this shit's overpowered. And they're like, I thought they wanted to keep Call of Duty as realistic as possible, but now they just did the complete opposite.
I love
Exactly,
it.
Philipper. It's Fortnite now.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
Call of Duty Fortnite. Yeah.
I've heard.
So can
nothing
Fortnite
but
issue a
bad
cease and
things.
desist letter to Call of Duty then? For doing the same
Yeah,
thing?
honestly, I really hope they would, so they'd stop this bullshit. I
Um,
really hope they would.
but within this, though, apparently you can get the Starlight, Homelander, or Black Noir operator bundles. Because Season 4 Reloaded is all about fucking bundles. Because they always put out like those roadmap like glyph or icons that show you everything new coming. It's usually like new maps, new this, new that, and it's like most of this one is all new fucking bundles. I think there was like 10 or 12 bundles on this thing, and I'm like, we're not getting anything new. We got one new multiplayer map, and it was Vondo Waterfront, which isn't new because we've been playing it since day one, since Vondo released, so it's not new to us.
It's also horrible.
Microsoft needs to make their money back, bud.
It's
They
not
just
Microsoft.
bought this.
It's not Microsoft yet.
They're buying them.
Yeah.
They're buying them. Microsoft needs to make their
Yeah.
money back, bud.
And then we're also getting the last mission for the raid, which goes back on what they lied to us. They said there was going to be 5 missions, and then this is only number 4, and this is the last one. They were like, no more raid. No more raid. Something happened that made them
depends
switch
what
up.
studio
They won
was
the
making
acquisition. They don't
raid.
give a fuck anymore.
That's true. I think I would probably honestly just say what studio is making the raids because
You
like we
don't
know
even know.
Treyarch's doing multiplayer, so I'm not sure if Sledgehammer's doing the raid because I believe Sledgehammer's making the next Call
Well,
of Duty.
Treyarch
game, so
did
that's
the ranked play, if I'm not
okay,
mistaken.
the ranked. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know.
There's
That
there's
shot-
too many
Infinity
hands in the
Ward
pot.
thing with them?
There's too many hands in the pot.
It's still a thing with them, right? Infinity
what?
Ward is.
Yeah, well, they're the ones that
Infinity
made Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah,
but
they
we
did
couldn't
the
tell.
Modern Warfare 2. Are they handling the raid?
We don't know.
That's the only issue because like now it's like they have everyone working on it, but then apparently they also have another studio that they're making that it's not even going to be Call of Duty. It's making a whole separate game now. So I and it's not in the Call of Duty universe. At
Yeah.
all.
Oh, from Infinity Ward. Yeah, their new RPG that they're working on.
Yeah, so I have no clue.
Yeah,
All I know is
yeah.
that shotgun is toxic as hell.
Yeah.
I hate it. I told you I played third person. So when you're going against people who could 3D peek you and you're running up on a corner and then like a Gatling gun of a shotgun just like mows you down, it's not fun. So yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely not it at all.
I can't wait to use it tomorrow.
Oh, they did low-key add another weapon too. It is a new shotgun attachment for like regular guns. It's like the regular shotgun attachment, but it does fire breath ammo now. So
that's toxic too.
yeah, it's so stupid, and this shit has insane fucking range. You thought you were shooting a slug round.
What I didn't like was people complaining that Homelander's execution is too brutal, and the main reason why I don't like that is because have you seen what a drill charge does to a person when you throw it at them?
Yeah,
You throw it
Like-
their asshole. Yeah.
it
It's
mutilates
like
them.
Taco Bell season, like bro, like
Can we pull up that execution?
Oh,
Lander's execution.
it's awesome, bro.
you want me to show it up on screen here?
I'll just say, if not, I'm gonna pull it up. But I would like to live react to this. Let me big screen this because this is gonna be fun.
Call of Duty finisher, eh? Let's see what we got. Lobby God confuses lobby. Did you here, that shit's 11 minutes? I'm not watching an 11-minute YouTube video for it.
Yeah, no way. It's with 12 minutes of ads.
Yeah, well, I gotta watch this 6-minute ad real quick and then I can put it up here on screen. But I'm just like, alright.
Well, great talking to you guys.
Yeah, here we are. So, alright. Is this the one you're talking about? Oh, okay, it blows the person's head off.
It's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not
Love
bad.
it.
I mean,
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with that.
The drill charge is literally worse.
yeah, the drill charge are definitely worse.
Drill charge is way worse.
But like,
Holy shit, dude!
have they not played zombies? Like zombies is
I
pretty crazy,
don't know.
have they not seen the boys?
right? So,
That's tame.
but
That's
let's
very tame.
let's move
That's
on
just
here
very
because
quick done.
we're gonna come back to Call of Duty here and the leaks and rumors. But Roger, you dropped a trailer in there for Sengoku Dynasty.
So the creators of Unicorn Princess and more commonly known Medieval Dynasty have released a new game. Sengoku Dynasty got an official release date here. It is one of the series. So Medieval Dynasty is a sort of live your survival adventure, and it kind of fit my theme here of Raft today. The idea that survival games, the trying to make sure you're able to survive, build up what you have, stay, food, water, shelter, everything. Medieval Dynasty was one of those games that came out a few years ago, and they just released the early access trailer and release date for their next one, which is now based off of uh based off of medieval Japan.
Ooh.
Yeah, as you can see, I just
that
played
was
the
awesome.
trailer.
Yeah.
It almost looked like kind of like Valheim, but like in a different time frame.
And,
So
it's mostly meant to be it's a solo game, and you build up your own village. You bring people in. Yeah, I'm a fucking weeb, Marshmallow.
Fucking weeb.
Wow, tell me what I don't fucking know.
Nani?
So, go ahead, Scott, if you want to round out our gaming news here before we move on to our leaks and rumors.
Guys, we are getting the Gex trilogy back. We are getting a remaster from Square Enix. How
I'm here
hype?
for it.
How
I'm
hype?
here for it.
Here for it. Here for it. 100%. Like I
I'm
saw that and I was like, no fucking way.
Yeah, here's the
trying to
reveal
get the
trailer.
wife's attention so she could dig in the closet from an N64 game of Gex. Like,
Yes.
I still have it, bro. Like,
Yes.
it's just legit.
Oh man.
I wonder, like, is this going to be like
Exactly,
007
exactly.
kind of
Marshmallow
remaster?
Philipper, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that we're like actually getting some of these. Now my thing is like, yeah, like, I quite like, is it going to be a complete remake, just a simple remaster?
Like, just throw some high def graphics on it, or I don't. What are we doing?
We're still out a little bit on a lot of like the detail about
just got
is
a
it a remake,
30-second
is it a
trailer, you know?
remaster, like what are we getting? But either way, no matter what we get, whether it's just a retailoring of the graphics, they just bring it up to speed with what we have now. Still, I mean, it's gonna be Gex Remastered. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Whether they add more content, anything like that, it's all really up in the air right now. As they bring it up to speed with 2023, obviously more technology exists where they can do some other things, and I mean,
Yes.
maybe they do, maybe they don't. We'll see as more gets kind of revealed to us. But man, the hype is real, 100%. It is so real.
Yeah. Now I just need a Sly Cooper remake and stuff like that.
Man,
We've talked about those in leaks or rumor that it is in the works, so maybe it is.
I would love to see
You
a Sly
lying,
Cooper
really?
remake.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I think would be actually really fun? Diddy Kong Racing. But anyway,
Oh yes.
Dude, Diddy
God,
Kong
that would be
Racing
Oh, you're
was,
pulling on some heartstrings right now.
was so perfect.
I love that game.
But oh man, it was so.
But the hype train
Have
is
you
not over.
It
Have
is
you
not.
played Geomon's at Great Adventure?
No.
Oh yes,
I
know
had
it.
sex with women.
You're talking
Oh
about
my
what?
god.
That is a game that
That was like my first introduction into like RPG type games in a way, I guess. like dang.
people talk about that game and everyone's like, "Do you remember this N64 game?" And people are like, "What N64 game?" I'm like, "Dude, this
I
was
see
What's
it.
it called?
It was
Geomon.
Geomon's Great
Adventure.
Adventures.
And
That game.
also known as Mystical Ninja 2, starring Geomon.
Yes, yes.
So this was an OG adventure game. Like a game like that to be brought back out would be awesome. This was a classic side-scrolling game that got a 3D version around the
No,
same
I
time.
do
we
remember
got-
this.
Here you
Yes.
go. I have it up on screen there for anybody watching the video version of the podcast.
Yes. Okay, I
And
do
you
remember
had
this.
different
Yes.
characters to play as.
This
Yeah.
is definitely a game that I did not play. I definitely missed this one.
Loved it, man.
Well, I have an N64, so I might have to
And
add this to the
there
collection.
was a 3D version of this game that came out later down.
Was
the
this like a
road.
co-op game then too, or it looks like? 'Cause it looked like
No.
No,
Or
it's
you had a
single,
party?
but you could
Okay.
play as 4 different characters.
Well,
you
right?
swap.
this one you're watching, I believe, did have 2-player co-op, but the 3D adventure one that came later didn't.
yeah, it looks like one player, and then like someone was you could select other. Okay, yeah, I see.
Mhm.
We
Interesting.
need to do like a revisit of some of the old N64 games that were so good. I want to go back and play Bomberman now. Like
Bomberman.
shit was dope. And then we gotta do it for like PS2 because you know a game I really 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 want remastered, which I think a lot of people do. Legend of Dragoon.
Yeah.
What about
Oh
Jake?
my
Man.
god.
Man,
Yeah, that was definitely a good
Or
goat
Dark
game.
Cloud?
Man, we can go on for days
I
talking
haven't
about
heard
this
that
shit.
in forever.
But let's
Get
let's
the
move on
stanky
here
face
to
from
our
Dark Cloud.
let's move on here to our leaks and rumors here, because like I said, the hype train's not over, man. So let's check it out.
It's not.
Chugga chugga choo choo, because we pulling in right now with Call of Duty 2024. Actor Luke Charles Stafford claims he will be playing a role of Ratcliffe in the upcoming title from Treyarch, which is reportedly being called Call of Duty Black Ops Gulf War.
That's interesting. We're actually gonna get a game about a war that no one does.
Yeah. I agree with that. It's just like, can we just drop the Black Ops part? Like, you're just selling the
Yeah.
Black Ops
No.
part of the title because of
Yeah,
the
branding.
significance of Black Ops.
Marketing.
Like, yes, that, like I get that. And that was the whole issue with Black Ops Cold War, because like that wasn't a Black Ops game. It was literally a Cold War game being made by a different developer, and then they were like, "Well, Treyarch, you need to help them out because they're falling
Like,
behind."
What do the numbers mean, Ratcliffe?
I'll be real though. This is a Call of Duty game I would play just for the story because like
Yeah.
I really enjoyed when we had the Vietnam War. Call of Duty did the Vietnam War. That was awesome. Nobody else really did that. It felt it was a good take on something we haven't seen much of because like we've done World War II 100 times.
Well,
We've
the
done
Vietnam
Modern
War.
Warfare.
The
Yeah.
Vietnam War was so taboo.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
really, really was. So to try to make it something that like seemed positive was really
And the
weird.
Gulf War is kind of that way too now. Nobody
Yeah.
talks about that. Like
Right.
these are things like they're too modern for people. They're not now, but they were, the generation that went through them is like, we don't want to talk about this stuff.
It
And
was
that's
very
kind
close
of-
to home,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're now getting to the point where we can start talking about these things.
Give me Call of Duty Revolutionary War. Let me load my musket
Yo,
again.
I would take a
I need
Call
sleight of
Duty
hand.
Revolutionary War tomorrow. I would take that shit tomorrow. That shit would be hilarious.
So we'll see
Run
if
around bayonet meta.
so we'll definitely see if this is even a thing, because we don't even know what Call of Duty 2023 is yet officially. I mean, we probably basically know it's Modern Warfare 3, but we'll see. But speaking of 3, StarCraft 3 is reportedly in developing, according to a prominent man in the gaming industry, Jez Corden, over from Windows Central, and he's reporting that like everyone's like, man, when are we going to get a StarCraft 3? StarCraft 3? Are they going to revive StarCraft with this acquisition? He was like, they might not need to revive it. And he was like, what do you mean by that? He was like, can't really say. So, is StarCraft 3 on the way? Are any of you guys a big StarCraft fan and looking forward to the next iteration?
Not massive, but I've played
Not
it.
a-
It's fun.
Yeah, like you're not competitive, but the story is just great.
It's really good. It really, really is. It's super rich.
And
You really
the
can't beat it.
level editor, the ability to just build what you want. Warcraft 3, literally, the entire idea of MOBA is just like MOBAs were born in a Warcraft 3 modded lobby.
Yes.
I played the entirety of Final Fantasy, like, I think it was 5. Somebody recreated the entire game inside of Warcraft
Inside
3.
of
And
wow.
I played it in Warcraft
That's
3.
So
crazy.
good. Man, it was God. People that are much more creative and much better than us.
Yeah, we're
Man.
the target audience, so we enjoy that kind of shit.
Damn straight.
But something I know that Scott, I know you're super fucking excited for this next part here. Modern Warfare 2 will be getting apparently Nicki Minaj and 21 Savage bundles. Are you ready? Are we going to get all of the cake, or are we only get some of the cake?
All of the cake,
is
and
the
I'm
real
gonna get
question.
on there and I'm gonna start modding it. So every like kill just makes her ass bigger or something like that. All of it. Let's go. 21 Savage. That's
Dude.
weird.
But I gotta ask though, does the skin come with extra sound effects from the clapping dude?
Yeah, there's got to be something you can do to offset the clap.
You feel it for
This is the reason why I would much rather have Cardi B than Nicki on there.
Wow,
For-
execution.
yeah, only because the fact that Cardi B already has a bunch of like hilarious
To go off of what Philipper, it's gonna be hilarious. To go off of what Philipper said, like, and I'm just like my gross ass brain is working, and I'm just waiting for like a waterboard execution where she just like stands over somebody and he's like, it's gonna be hilarious. 21 Savage,
shit.
that's weird.
Although I will say that
How many kills you got? A lot.
Like, there are some people in the community that did say that they highly suggest they don't add Nikki because they were already clipping some of her lyrics and they were like, if you're gonna take Nick Merckx out of the store,
Exactly.
we're clipping her lyrics.
Mm.
So like
That's what I was
now
waiting for.
I'm a little worried.
How many
Like,
tangles are there? A lot.
Taking Nick Merckx out for the things that he had tweeted or said, and you're gonna throw Cardi B and 21 Savage in there.
Nicki Minaj, but yeah, gotcha.
Mickey, yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
I'm thinking about Cardi B.
She has lyrics that are kind of on that same railroad.
They're
You-
very.
you- you-
They are
all I'm
much.
saying is-
They are much more.
You know what I'd rather get from all of this kind of stuff though is remember Call of Duty Ghosts when he implemented like different voiceovers that you can change like the entire voice, like when they added Snoop Dogg as a voiceover, like anytime like there's a UAV available, yo, or like some shit like that, and you're
Hey,
like,
no,
yo,
there's a
like that
UAV.
shit's fucking dope. Like we need that kind of content back. I would literally buy for that kind of shit. Like that is
Hey
fucking
man,
fire.
we got a precision airstrike.
We about to roll up on him.
Wait
No.
for Nicki Minaj to be like, ah shit, UAV. Talk about
Yeah.
that. Wop. Somebody got a UAV. I can't.
Yes.
Sorry, that was terrible. I
Airstrike,
can't.
drop it like it's hot. Yeah,
There's
that's
no coming back
exactly.
with Somebody better drop it like it's hot. I don't know
But
if she's gonna
enough
do that,
Activision
who knows?
Blizzard. Scott, you were talking about EA earlier. They had a pretty exciting potential announcement too.
I was, and this is gonna be big if true. Need for Speed Most Wanted is apparently getting a remake, according to Simone Bailey, who is a voice actor, in a now deleted tweet. So it's one of those times when it's like when somebody's like, "Hey, yo, delete that shit right now." You're like, "Ooh, that might be it. It might be true." It's
Yeah, I
gonna
mean, you
be-
figured they just remastered Hot Pursuit not that long ago.
Yes.
And,
Yep.
and Most Wanted was I think like right after that, and Most Wanted was probably
Yeah.
like the last Need for Speed game that I like remember playing like hardcore, like a lot.
Yep.
And that was like at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the PS2, beginning of like I transitioned from the PS2 to the 360 time frame because I
That's
had it on
what
both consoles, and I was just like that game was dope. And you ran through like the blacklist, and you wanted to beat that top racer, and
Dude,
it was
it's
just
so
good.
Yeah.
And
I know,
honestly,
I can't wait.
Roger, you recently played through and beat Unbound. Unbound almost gave me like low key Most Wanted vibes because like that person who
Yeah.
betrays you in the beginning of the game, you're like, yo, I gotta go after her. Like I gotta get to the top of the list. I gotta work my way up and take down that number one racer and get my revenge. So there was a
Yeah,
lot of
I mean-
similarities there.
Yeah, this hype train has not stopped from this. We should see this 2024 sometime, anywhere from 1 January to 31 December. We'll see.
Right, it makes
As
sense because they
more
just
comes out.
they're riding the wave with Unbound. Being successful, just recently added to EA Play and in part to Game Pass because of it.
And not to mention, like when you do this, like you did Hot Pursuit, you have a chance to make Most Wanted. This is now we're looking at Underground remakes maybe in the future if people still want that, because it's just a chance to be like, hey, how could these games, how could they have been
Yeah.
now?
Hey,
Because we're not Howard Stark. We're not limited by the technology of our time anymore. All right. And so seeing Hot Pursuit now, Most Wanted. I mean, God, it's gonna be a great time for Call of Duty.
Please bring back
Need for
Underground
Speed
1 and
fans.
2.
If we
Please.
get an
Oh
underground,
man, if you bring back Underground,
and that star screen, I can see Rachel again on that star screen. Oh,
In high def.
the highest of them, I will burn my PC to the ground trying to get that shit as
but
good as
I'm
it is.
curious if they'll keep the original soundtrack, especially if they
Oh.
do Underground 2. Underground 2 had like such a legit soundtrack because the same song played every time you entered in your garage. And like this soundtrack is just amazing. So I'm really curious if you can do.
It was 100% that like that ambiance. You go into your garage, you hear this song. I think that they would 100%.
Boom, boom.
here's a link to the soundtrack. But yeah, that shit was fire.
I think they'll probably 100% keep that. I mean, that was one of the greatest things. That's like if you brought like when they redid Tony Hawk's Pro Skater
Yeah.
Yes.
and they didn't touch the soundtrack, like what, because that's something you don't do.
Yep.
And I would love to see if they do that. Was it what Disney said? Was it the Fast and Furious game that you added lights to under the car and made the car look all fun with the decals and paints and such? No, that was Underground.
Yeah, that was Underground. I remember,
That
like,
was
because you had to
Underground.
go to different shops, to get different
had that
things.
neon green and
Yeah,
everything.
and
dude, that's what
the
I'm talking
tinted
about.
windows and shit. Oh man,
Yeah.
I spent
Yeah,
too
you
much
could do, like,
time.
different stages of like the neons and like the tinted
Although
windows. Man.
I will say though that drifting was a lot easier in Most Wanted than it was in Underground 2. Because in Underground 2, like you could easily just fuck up on your drift and do a power slide, and that pissed me off to high.
Oh, it was the worst. It was the worst, and that was the one.
Have
that
you
had,
played Need for Speed Unbound then? Because that
the
game
one-
could a little
Yeah.
fucking touchy. That shit's crazy.
The one
And
level where you were
it was
racing
really
the
good.
guy for his charger, I think it was.
Was
it that one?
Underground 2?
Was it Underground 2?
I don't believe that was the Most
Or was
Wanted.
it
Touchy
I
subject.
think it was-
But-
yeah, it might be Underground 2.
let's move on here to our last leaks and rumor here. Does the hype train continue here, Roger, with this one, or is this like just a
I don't
money
know.
gun? Are we just printing money?
I don't know. No, because the thing is, like, the second season of the show hasn't been announced, so at this point we're looking at the remaster for the second Last of Us. It's reportedly in development already, which, like, we already knew it was. They did the first one. They're gonna do it again. They're trying to ride the hype train. And honestly, do we need a remaster of the second one? Because we just got the game.
That's how we felt when they
I-
remastered the first one, and then they remade
I think
the
I'm gonna
first
agree
one.
with Marshmallow on here is hype train full stop because
Yeah.
I mean
I think
we don't want it, we didn't need it. I
We
mean
talked about marketing earlier, and I think this is the issue. When you pull out the whole marketing nonsense of like built from the ground up for the PS5, like all this stuff, like, well, if that's the case, then we already got the best that is available. So what exactly are you going to do? I mean, don't get me wrong. There's an AK symbol slapped on the side of the PS5 box. So are we going to get an AK Last of Us 2? Like, no, we're not.
No.
Probably not, because
What are we
that audience
gonna
is only
get?
this big.
Yeah, so it's like, what are we
you
gonna
will
do?
have
Like, more
will have
accessibility
1080.
options? Cool,
Right.
Sure.
You might-
why
you-
not? But I'm not gonna pay another.
You might have
$70 for that.
a larger audience doing a Last of Us Part 2 VR edition than targeting an
Yeah,
AK audience.
And let me ask you this: is like the fact that this is getting a remastered. When do you think the game dropped? Without looking it up, when did it come out?
was it
18 or
2015?
19?
18?
18 or
Oh, yeah.
19?
2020, guys. It
3
was
years.
not even 3 years.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah, so that runs the question of like, when is it too early to remaster a game?
I'm sorry, it just hit its third year. So like June 2020, this game came out.
Gross.
I'm looking at it right now on my shelf, and I'm like, I thought I played that like last year. It feels like, it was so recent.
Well, it's very clear that they're gonna beat the dead horse the best they can.
Yeah.
After coming off of the hype from the Last of Us HBO series, and now they know people are gonna be revisiting this or wanting to play the games. And they're like, well, we better get a fucking remaster out, even though it's 3 years old. I thought it was at least like 5. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
well,
like-
I think the
so-
other problem with it is they're doing it because the fact that I want to say 3 of the characters from the show got nominated, so now they're going to try. It's like, when they do re-releases of movies. Okay, well, this movie just got nominated for this, and the third. So that's literally what they're trying to recreate with games now. The only issue is I don't want to pay $70 for this stuff. Like, you're going to... Unless this re-release comes with the PC version of it and everything, then it makes no sense. I mean,
Yeah.
I understand why you're doing it, but, like...
It should have just been a PC port.
This is milking a teat.
Yeah, they're definitely just trying to
As
ride
best they
the
can.
hype
Yeah, this
from
is
season 2
singular.
of the show.
A teat.
A
Which
singular.
isn't out yet.
Well, see, it's not out, but it's been
singular.
announced that it's in development. But now with the whole writer's strike, who knows
Yeah.
when the fuck that shit's coming out?
Well, and
Exactly.
it's the classic, like, oh my god, I love this show. Wait, this is based off of a video game? Are you serious? Hold on, let me go check that game out. Wait, there's 2 of them? Okay, so this will be... Let me get ahead of the story. I mean, people are going to be disappointed, but let me go ahead and get ahead of the
Yeah.
story. And oh, yeah, no, this is because... I'll wait for the remaster. I'll buy the remaster for $70, because that's, got to be better, instead of, like, getting a $30 used copy. Like, yeah, it's just milking at that
The
point.
remaster is this generation's version of the Platinum Hits version of a game.
No, there it is. There it is. You heard it
Not
here.
all about
There it is.
but-
There it is.
Yeah, dude, forgot about that shit entirely.
And we bought
Right.
it hook, line, and sucker too.
Yeah.
And at this
Oh,
point,
for
they're just platinum shits. Like we're remastering a 3-year-old game.
Yeah,
What?
for
Like
sure.
save that shit for Gex. Save that shit for Bomberman. Save that
Right,
shit
games
for
that deserve a
Legend of
remaster.
Dragon. Yeah, games that deserve a
that are gonna
remaster.
get lost to history. You know, games that we need to, things that were crucial in defining genres, industry. Like
Actually, funny
know.
you say that because there was a report that just came out. They said games from 2010 and older, 80, it's like 80% of them are
80%.
aren't available commercially to the public.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and that, where does that leave you? Piracy, not a good option. You know,
Emulating,
trying
which is
to-
piracy.
Emulating,
Yeah.
yeah.
Paying 200% of value because it's rare.
Now, when the whole FTC and Microsoft thing happened and stuff, and Phil Spencer tweeted it out, I quote tweeted him, and my exact words were, "So when is backwards compat coming back?" Because I think that's a huge thing to now happen with the whole Activision Blizzard King acquisition. Is that can we now bring that back compat team back? Because I think people forget that these people aren't just like developers; they're publishers as well. So before the issue they were having with the original Xbox and 360 was some of the developers and publishers just don't exist no more. So you can't really get the rights to go ahead and mess with stuff. But now you have Activision, which were both. So this can open up the door, especially if we want to talk about like keeping these games alive for a new generation, or just making sure they don't get lost to the wind in history. Like
It can, but why would we waste the money on backwards compatibility teams? Why would we waste that money when we can remaster the game, resell it for $70 a fucking pop, and everyone buys it?
Yeah.
Or just add it to Game Pass and still make a ton of money.
Or add it to Game Pass and make your money that way from your subscription. Why would we give a shit about backwards compatibility when we can make money off of people buying the game, buying the pass?
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think that's the answer. But yeah, I definitely agree. Like, they can definitely dive into their back catalog of Activision and Blizzard and bring games that were probably once exclusive to the PlayStation 2 and bring them now to the Xbox.
Fable 1 remaster, let's go.
So maybe we'll see all that kind of stuff.
And that's the other thing. Like backwards compatibility is a big thing as well, because like if you're playing things like Fable 1, I tried to put that on the old Xbox. You can't even get logged into Xbox Live, so the game won't play. So you can't play Fable 1 because you can't log into the old Xbox Live.
Yep, you gotta
You know,
go through Anniversary Edition.
Yeah.
Or the
It
Lost
just-
Chapters.
hmm It really sucks that,
Yeah.
that a lot of this is getting lost to history.
For
But I
sure.
will say,
Ooh,
the one
Lost
thing-
Odyssey remaster.
What I will say is though, the one thing that is good about how Xbox handles their stuff is the fact that your save files, regardless of it, is still saved in the cloud.
Yeah, which is good.
I
yeah.
can't say that about PlayStation because I've lost a lot of my save files because I forgot to play from a freaking.
The save
PlayStation
files
4.
are right here. They're on this
Yeah,
thing. This
hey.
fucking eight
Don't-
megabit fucking memory card.
Don't put that back down too hard.
Yeah, it might fucking lose my files.
It's just gonna break.
But yeah, man, it was a great episode. But I think it's time to end it here. So we definitely want to start off by thanking our live audience today who checked us out here on Twitch, and anyone who does check us out later on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcast. We do want to start off by thanking Paul, aka Inhuman, for coming back on the show. Love to have you. Bring so much to the fucking show, so much conversation. So thank you again, brother, for coming onto the show.
Appreciate the invite.
Hell yeah! And where can the community find you at?
As always, you can find me on all your various social media networks at Inhuman Line. That's INHUMANLINE. I am everywhere for right now at that.
Gotcha. And what about you, Roger? Where can the community find you at?
Same place as always, guys. It's at twitch.tv/lunatic_oblivion.
And what about you, Scobie One?
Same bat time, same bat channel. You can find me at twitch.tv/Scobie1. I will be streaming tomorrow if we are playing that tournament. See if we can hit some guest stars, see what goes on there. If you want to get a hold of me and talk to me on Discord, see what we're doing, get in one of our groups, you can hit me at Discord on Scobie1. Battle.net, if you want to play some games together, Scobie1. My numbers are 11780. And as always, if you just want to go ahead, talk to me, see what I'm up to, see what kind of things I'm doing with my life, get a hold of me at Instagram at Scobie1.
Perfect. And of course, everyone, you can check me out on my Twitter at Mr. _, or check me over on the Twitter competitor here at Threads at Mr. Neverchillin. Xbox is X Never Space Chilling. If you want a game, party up, hit me up there. Facebook is Vic Brubacher for any question, concerns, or even if you want to come on the show. And I stream over on my Twitch at twitch.tv/Mr. Neverchillin, where I'm currently playing Hogwarts Legacy and soon to be starting Back 4 Blood with Inhuman here.
Baby.
So we'll get right to it. But that's everything for this week, guys. So we want to thank you again. But until next time, peace.
Restart podcast.